Hello friends and bees and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Indie Thursday stream. This week we are going to be continuing our stream rather, of Higurashi When They Cry Minagoroshi. I'm just having a problem at the moment that Steam has crashed. Oh no, never mind, it lives. Steam has been having real problems on my computer recently, which is being a real ball ache, but it lives, and that's the most important thing. So when we left off last week, we had made the decision to try and convince the villagers of Hinamizawa that there's nothing wrong with Satoko, that she should be saved, and that as a result the whole village should go intercede on her behalf. And this week we're going to see if that happens. I have the distinct feeling that only terrible things are going to happen, but nonetheless I try my hardest to retain hope. You know how it be. The achievement for the next chapter is if there's 1,000, the whole village should stand up and fight, which is a reference to an attempt to try and buttress people up that was made previously. So let's swap over. I'm just gonna, good, my buttons are working as planned. Mostly. I'm having some problems. Okay. As always, I changed some stuff around in Stream Deck, which means that certain things are misbehaving, annoyingly. But hopefully I've got them working. Anyway, let's continue into chapter 9. Pretty certain I read the new tips, but let's have a quick look. Yes, yeah, I did. Continue. I'm full of nervous energy, I have to say. Also, my sleeve was wet, dunking it while I was doing dishes just before dinner. That's why we started slightly late, by the way, is because I was doing research and lost track of time, and then abruptly I'm like, oh shit, I need to go and make my dinner, and then that took some time to cook, and then shoved down my throat, but it was very nice, I have to say. So, excuse me, I have something to say before the meeting starts. They all knew immediately that I was going to say something about Satoko. I guess they weren't just old for show. Oh, Keiichi, today is our final meeting before the festival, so can you bring up your personal issue later? I ignored him and continued talking. If you have something to say, just tell me directly. Don't go through me on all Miss Chie. I don't like it when people are so indirect. Let's talk face to face. Everyone went quiet. Nobody there wanted to be involved in a conversation about the Hojo family. Everyone here knows that Satoko Hojo is being practically held confined by her uncle and suffering at his hands. Well, I don't care that you're not proactive about helping her. I'm sure that some of you don't want any trouble. But we're different. Satoko is our friend. We're fighting as hard as we can to save our friend from danger. However, Keiichi, we're aware of all that. All we're saying is that you've done enough to the consultation centre by now. Is there a problem if we continue our appeal? Of course there is. It's a big problem too. Someone with a stern voice spoke out to me. I had gotten under their skin. Then what is the problem? Can you explain it so a child like me can understand? Damn conflict ended ages ago. Age of banding together and storming public offices is over. Subject wasn't even Satoko anymore. All they had to offer was a bunch of excuses. I'm not asking about your past, and the damn conflict has nothing to do with this. This is my war. So if you're going to partake in my war, then let's make it clear if you're my enemy or my ally. Which is it? Are you my allies or my enemies? Mada. Listen to the things that come out of this boy's mouth. Young people these days don't know how to be polite. Whole room lit up and started filling with the smell of gunpowder. However, none of my allies let themselves get swept up in the commotion and maintain their harsh stares. Those expressions made me feel as though I had a million supporters behind me. I was standing in front only as their representative. It wasn't my fight alone. This was everyone's fight. Because of that realization, the fierce looks the old people were giving me didn't intimidate me at all. Keiichi, This is not about us being your enemy or not. Our village fought with these officials during the dam conflict. However, I do understand that this has nothing to do with it. The dam conflict is a thing of the past. I don't care what you thought about that. I'm talking about me, my friends, and Satoko. I never asked about the dam conflict. Ever thought of getting your ears checked? Why, you? How can you talk to your elders like that? Disrespectful little brat. Like to have a word with your parents. My dad, standing behind me, gave an apologetic and bitter smile. Pardon me, I'm his father, you see. You're his father? How could you raise him like this? Haha, I guess I'm not a very good parent. I'm not sure if I raised Keiichi the way I was supposed to. My dad paused. In the next moment, however, his expression changed to a glare. However, a single man known as Keiichi Maebara is standing here before all of these faces to voice his appeal that something about this doesn't make any sense. I don't care if he's my son or not. He's only making his assertion, so I don't think there's really any reason to be talking to me here. Silence filled the room as the old people sat there with their mouths agape. Mr. Oishi broke that silence with laughter. You got plenty of pride, don't you? My name is Reina Ryugu. Can I ask something? I don't understand the logic of how the dam conflict being over becomes a reason we shouldn't make our appeal to the CCC. Would you explain that to us in detail? Reina's voice remained perfectly level, as though the matter didn't concern her. However, I could see the fury in her eyes. I was probably the only one who noticed that fury. The old people seemed like they'd rather deal with her than me. Reina, this village has no reason to fight with the government now that the dam conflict is over. During that time we did fight them true, but after the conflict was over, that's water under the bridge, so our village re-established relations with the government. Hinamizawa is not an individual country. We're just a small village in Japan. The government is taking care of us. That's why we need to try and get along with them. You're right. It is important for a village to have a good relationship with the government. Listen to Reina. She understands us at least. Maebara's boy ought to learn from her. I heard little bits and pieces from the noise of the crowd. Yeah, that's definitely true. Hinamizawa has been trying to fix its relationship with the government ever since the dam conflict ended. Exactly, just like Mion said. The old man cheered. However, Shion was the next to open her mouth. That's why the town council and the government officials are best friends now. In fact, 2 officials always come along with the town council's annual hot spring trip. They get paid to participate too. Trip itself is mostly paid for with tax money, isn't it? Oh, and I know so many other things. Like the donations for New Year and end of year parties, as well as the vast financial aid the town council receives for festivities. Upcoming with Higurashi is one of them. Government's putting millions of yen into subsidies and aid. They're the ones who pretty much pay for the whole festival. Ever since the conflict ended, the festival has been getting bigger and bigger. That's because we're receiving money from the government. So if we get in trouble with them, we might not be able to hold a festival next year. That's why Hinamizawa keeps kissing their asses. Isn't that right, Uncle? Shion, how do you know all of that? Shion's like, we be knowing. Us women, we be knowing. And if we don't be knowing, we be pirating PDFs and learning. Switch places. The hell? It's a ridiculous story. I still don't understand why you're against what we're trying to do. Reina, will you sum this up for me? What are they saying? Well, basically they're colluding with the government officials so they can't risk upsetting them. The whole room went into a panic after Reina summed it up so simply. Some of them were ashamed we hit the nail on the head, some of them were enraged by our ignorance, and some of them were simply angry about our disrespectful attitudes. All of them combined to throw the room into a chaos of chattering and stomping. Be quiet, be quiet! They all settled down after Mr. Kimiyoshi raised his voice. By the time they quieted, the mayor had a terrible look on his face. Keiichi, the relationship between the town council and the government officials has nothing to do with this. You're just sidestepping the issue yourself. There's no point in mixing the two up together. Listen, we won our battle against the dam project, but we're all labelled as a nest of troublemakers. And yes, we were taking advantage of that image during the conflict. However, now that the conflict is over, the image is working against us badly. We need to try and repair it. Otherwise, this village will have no future. Do you understand? It's not just about being your enemy. It's much deeper than that. In other words, you're saying that if Keiichi rouses everyone to action, then the friendly atmosphere we've developed will be ruined? The old people nodded as Mion spoke. They were assuming that Mion was on their side. Mion, what do you mean by the friendly atmosphere? Does that mean we shouldn't seek help for a poor innocent girl who's being abused? They're trying to say that the CCC is doing their job already, so they want us to stop interfering. Given their position, the officials can't say leave us alone that strongly, so they're asking our village to deal with the matter for them, since they're granting us a lot of subsidies. Oh, so what you're saying is the town council is the government's lapdog? Hey you, watch what you're saying. Be a little more respectful, why don't you? Why don't you watch what you're saying? I hope you're not refusing to help her just because Satoko is the daughter of the Hojo family. That's not it. We're not saying anything about Satoko. We're just telling you to take a look at the bigger picture and show some more restraint in your appeals. The CCC isn't ignoring you. I'm sure they've taken your huge protest into account. You already understand your point. We're just saying you're carrying this way too far. Keiichi, I just saw something really interesting. See, look at what's in that picture frame over there. Reina pointed at the wall, and everyone followed the direction of her finger. There were very many different picture frames all over the walls of the assembly hall. They mostly had to do with the dam conflict, and were usually about glorifying the ODA. Reina was pointing at a framed article. Kimiyoshi wrote it, way back when he was leader of the Guardians during the dam conflict. Look at the middle portion there. We attempted peaceful negotiation, but the government and their marionette, the president of the electric company, declined. They trampled on our village's democratic movement and our native land with indescribable atrocities. Meep. That's what Kimiyoshi wrote for the dam conflict memorial. He wrote the same thing on the monument too. Everyone knew why Reina had brought that up. I could hear them all gulping. They attempted to negotiate peacefully with the government and its marionette, the electric company. What's this? Are you sure they don't mean the Hinamizawa Town Council instead of the electric company? Still, marionette is a difficult term. Do you think people understand what that means? Could someone explain it to me? A marionette is like a puppet. It means that while they're supposed to be an independent organisation, they're actually being controlled as though they're dancing on strings. Oh, that sounds like the perfect word to describe Hinamizawa right now. Yeah, that is perfect. What are you saying? We're not their marionette. We're just trying to cooperate with them. Calling us a puppet is just splitting hairs. But that's what you just stated. You clearly told us you want us to stop, not because of Satoko, but for the sake of the village. You said there's an issue because the village needs to maintain a friendly relationship with the government. Don't tell me you didn't say exactly that. You did say it, didn't you? I heard him. He said it had nothing to do with Satoko. Mion, I thought there was a saying in this village, something about how the whole village comes together for one villager? If there's one person coming, 2 should throw rocks at him. If there are 2, 4 would do. If there are 8, 16 would fight back. There's 1,000, the whole village would stand up and fight. If one person is abused, the whole village is abused. We all work together for that one villager. That's the unity of the ODA. Unity of the ODA is stronger than rock. That's what their leader said back in the day. Ugh. Mayor Kimiyoshi used to be the head of the ODA. He crossed his arms and started to groan. There were many things he wanted to say, but he knew that none of them would make him look good, and so he continued to stay silent. When I moved here, Mion and Shion told me the valiant story of the dam conflict, but that unity didn't start just a few years ago when the dam conflict happened. I believe those traditions have been here for over 40 years, ever since Japan lost the war. That's why I really respect those who fostered the unity here since that era, and I find them incredible. And more than anything, I'm impressed by the courage the ODA displayed here in this picture frame. The government tried to pull many dirty tricks to submerge this village under the water, but the Guardians thwarted every one of them. Because of the efforts of those men, Hinamizawa is still here today. If they hadn't done anything, we'd be at the bottom of a lake right now. So I'm grateful this village still exists, with its proud unity and beautiful scenery. I'm proud to call myself a resident of Hinamizawa. Damn right, someone shouted. It wasn't one of my friends. It was one of the elderly villagers. That's why we fight. We fight because we all live together in this village. If there's one person coming, 2 should throw rocks, etc. If there's 1,000, the whole village would get together for one villager. That's the unity of the Guardians. Satoko Hojo is one of us. You all know how horrible her uncle is. You all know that we can't leave her alone with him for a whole month. We need to save her from her uncle right this minute. We need the power of the ODA one more time. We need the spirits of the Guardians to reunite again. Reina and Mion applauded, and the applause quickly spread to everyone. I saw smiles creeping across the face of the old people. However, they quickly wiped away those smiles and started discussing with their neighbours. Keiichi is right. It's not like Hinamizawa has to obey the government all the time. But the dam conflict is over now. Government officials are taking care of us. Wasn't aware of that. Are they really supporting us that much? Well, on a personal level, I agree with what my Barra's boy is saying. I can't approve of how the town council is operating. Keiichi's right, but you can't put pressure on them just because the government is telling us to do so. Mr. Mayor, we might not be able to support Keiichi, but I also don't think we have the right to tell him to stop. I don't like this Maybara boy's attitude. He's way too disrespectful. Think he can get away with talking to us like that? 3 scary old guys came up to yell at me. I raised my own voice and yelled right back in their faces. It's not about my attitude, it's about the soul of this village. Get out of here if you don't have the courage to stand up for one innocent villager. How dare you speak to me that way? Thwack. Big old guy smacked me upside the head. What do you think you're doing? Thwack. I hit him right back and the room went into panic again. Keiichi, no! Reina approached us. I thought she'd come to stop me, but she suddenly hit the old guy in the head too. What are you doing? Don't think you can get away with this just because you're a girl. He thwacked Reina upside the head. However, Reina talked back to him with a firm look in her eyes. If one comes, you too should come to fight back. Isn't that the spirit of Hinamizawa? Since you hit Reina, 4 of us need to retaliate. Let me in on this. Keiichi, your father's gonna fight too. Everything you've said is right. If they're gonna try and stop you with violence, I won't turn a blind eye to that. There are 3 people blocking Keiichi's way. We need 6 people to fight them. Rika! I'm impressed to see that courage of yours, Rika. Let me in too. I too will be taking his side. Miss Chie stood up. I thought she'd given up under all the pressure. I was almost going to neglect my student. I prioritised myself, even though I thought I'd do anything for them. I'm ashamed to call myself a teacher. Wearing a fierce expression, she stared at the mayor. That was her answer to the pressure he tried to put on her. Miss Chie, I think that I overstepped my bounds as an educator. However, what Maebara is doing is the right thing. As an educator, I have to acknowledge the fact that he's doing something right. I can no longer tell him to stop. If I have your support, Miss Chie, then I have nothing to fear. Let me ask you people one more time. Is it more important to stay cozy with the officials than it is to save the life of one poor, innocent villager? You don't even need to ask them, Keiichi. This is no ordinary assembly hall. This used to be the HQ of the ODA. People here were all members of the Guardians once. Nobody without their spirit would ever come to a place like this. Mion. Mr. Mayor, Keiichi's actions are embodying the spirit of Hinamizawa. The way he's trying to fight without fear is exactly what the ODA were doing. I think it's shameful for this town council to tell him to stop. If you're still going to ask him to back off, I'm going to smash all of these pictures on the wall and set fire to the flag of the Guardians. Mion, no! While the mayor did nothing but moan, someone else raised their voice. I'm going to support Maebara. He may be disrespectful, but he has the right spirit. I agree. It's pathetic the way we're colluding with these government officials. Keiichi, don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Keep on fighting. Don't give in to the pressure. The assembly hall instantly filled with a great round of applause. Maebara, tell us what's going on so far. Very well. On the day Satoko was kidnapped by her uncle, Miss Chie visited her house. However, he refused to let her see Satoko, and it was obvious that something hiccup was going on. Miss Chie called the CCC right after that. That night, a social worker visited her house. However, they determined there was no abuse going on, and they put her case on hold. This might be a normal way to handle the situation, but they don't know how dangerous that uncle is. For that reason, the 5 of us went to the CCC to let them know how urgent it was that she be rescued. They said they'd take that into consideration, but they still didn't take action after that. We thought 5 of us wasn't enough, so the next day we went there along with more than 20 of our classmates. You took the whole class? Keiichi gave a very moving speech. He told them they had to save their friend and not abandon her. If he was here during the dam conflict, I'm sure his charisma could have resolved it a year earlier. We all know all too well how spirited this lad is. The consultation centre still wasn't willing to listen to us on the second day. We made almost no progress. All they told us was that they were working on it. No, Keiichi, you did make progress. They were so intimidated they asked someone from the local government to check on our town council. The fact they tried to pressure us to stop meant that what you did was working. You did make progress. I guess you could look at it like that. If they weren't scared of us, they wouldn't have acted that way. On the 3rd day, we called all of our friends and gathered 60 people. This time we got to meet the head of the office. He listened to us, but he didn't say what the decision would be. Keiichi, to tell you the truth, at that point the council had already spoken to the officials and made our decision to stop you. After the CCC confirmed the whole village wasn't involved in the process, they decided to just ignore your appeal. That's what I thought. I could feel that from the way the head of the office treated us. It was obvious they were just trying to get it over with. We're planning to go there tomorrow too, but I wonder if they'll even pretend to listen. They might not even let us in because they think the village is pressuring us to stop. Yeah, they think that the village is on their side. The village needs to publicly announce they're supporting Keiichi. I agree. Otherwise, they definitely won't listen to us again. We should do that. We should tell them that Hinamizawa is not going to stop Maebara from what he's doing. Personally, I don't want to complain about Keiichi's actions, but it's complicated when I think about it from the town council's point of view. Even if we tell them we're not on either side, they'll think that we're on his side. It's tantamount to picking a fight with them. I apologise that Kichiro's voice changes constantly as I try and find a good one. There's too many people in the scene for me, but I still have to respect the opinion of the council too. I can't just decide this on my own. I need to get approval from all the council members. Most of them are here right now. So you say, but let's just be honest here. You're afraid there are some among you who are against saving the daughter of the Hojo family, aren't you? Whole room sunk into silence. That was the heart of the matter. Everyone thinks the damn conflict is over. You all told us that a few minutes ago. You also think there's no need to discriminate against the Hojo family now that everything is said and done. However, you're still afraid of the family. You're afraid that you'll be bad-mouthed if you interact with the Hojo family. Stoko's parents were indeed the leaders of the evacuation supporters, but what crime did Stoko commit? Personally, I don't have anything against her. Other people do. I don't have anything against her either. Conflict is over and her parents are dead. I don't hate her either, but I know there are some who still do. Yeah. Let me ask you this. If you hate Satoko, please raise your hand. I'm sure no one will. Yet you will still believe that interacting with her will make others speak ill of you. However, no one's going to. There is nobody like that. That can't be true. There's one person, at least. Then tell me who it is. Tell me who told you directly that they hate Satoko. The room fell silent again. It had become obvious they were all avoiding Satoko because of a huge misunderstanding. The CCC won't do anything, no matter what we do. They're convinced that the town council is on their side. We won't be able to fight until the council makes it clear that they're not supporting them. Kimiyoshi, by any chance, do you need approval from someone? Ow, you're right on the money with that one. Maya forced out a smile. I had no idea what Rika was talking about. She must have hit the nail on the head. Who could it be, though? Who was that someone? The hag, as Shion calls her. If I could persuade them, the village would end up supporting us. Are you talking about my hag of a grandmother? The Kimiyoshi family has forgiven the Hojo family. The Furude family has done the same, right? Me, I'm one of the leaders of the 3 families too. Hinamizawa has 3 powerful families who make all the decisions. That's been a tradition since the time of Onagafuchi village. Kind of an old tradition, but this was a road we couldn't avoid. So all we need is approval from the Samsaki family. I've heard that they have the most power amongst the 3. Everyone knew that, but it was taboo to speak it. It's something I could only I could say, since I didn't have the ties they did. Big slurp of water. If we can persuade Mion's grandmother, will the town council support us? What do you think, Mion? I don't want to fight with Granny. But if she's standing between Satoko and her safety, I'll have to. I won't be fighting as the next head of the family. I'll be fighting as Satoko's friend. Mr. Kimiyoshi, please promise, if we persuade Mion's grandmother, will we have the council support? Of course. No one would complain if it was the decision of the 3 families. Let me get this straight. You're all refusing to help because you're afraid of Mion's grandmother, right? You're all grown adults, good grief. That's what you say, but isn't Mizorio terrifying? That's not true. I know Mion's grandmother very well. Sure, she has a scary side, but she's not that bad. Keiichi is scarier than her when he's angry, and Rin is even scarier than me. Alright, I'm going to persuade Mion's grandmother. Support us when we succeed. Actually, don't just quietly support us either. I'm expecting you guys to take action too. What do you mean by that? We want the ODA to reunite. Are you going to let us kids do all the protesting? You want us to protest too? Oh, we can't do that. We should do that. We're going to tell those officials that we're going to fight against them. We need to do everything we can. If we're going to support Keiichi on behalf of the whole village, we need to make things clear to them. We have to support these kids if we're going to be on their side. Once we decide to do that, it's no longer just Meibara's fight. It'll be the villagers' fight too. In that case, you should be our leader, Mr. Kimiyoshi. There's no way the mayor should participate in the protest. Alright, we got it already. If Mizorio gives her approval, I'll act like a man. I'll help Keiichi. Does everyone here agree? Aye. But you're not going to help him persuade Mizorio? Fine, I'll come with him to persuade Mizorio. The way he talks might be too immature for her. She needs someone who can talk like an old person. I'm sorry for being so disrespectful today. I really have to apologise, everyone. Don't worry, you said some good things. You broke up the collusion in one fell stroke. Your refusal to cave under pressure is the very pride of Hinamizawa itself. Sorry for hitting you. Got pretty riled up. No, that was my fault. You did a good job too, Miss Chie. You were a wonderful teacher. I really didn't know that some people were still bitter towards the Hojo family. Probably Mizorio was the most bitter of anyone. However, according to Mion, Mizorio doesn't hate the Hojo family either. Really, the whole thing was ridiculous. Good for you, Meibara. Never thought you'd get the town council on your side. No, I don't have them on my side just yet. I need to persuade Mion's grandmother first. Mizorio was like a dictator around here, but she won't do anything that would make her lose the trust of the villagers. If you've already settled things with the town council, it'll be hard for the Sonozakis to oppose you alone. You're such a great negotiator. Insulted them at the start, but then you gradually buttered them up. I did it the way my dad writes articles for his art magazine. That's the same style he uses. Oh, your father set a good example for you, huh? He's an artist, isn't he? I'd love to see his work someday. Well, my dad doesn't even let me see his work. I guess he can't show it to him either. What kind of pictures is he drawing? Wink. Well then, let's go see Ms. Oreo tomorrow. We can't go right away. Once she gets into a bad mood, she'll never listen to us. I'll be coming along too. Who else is going? I'm coming too. Raina's also coming. She said she'd cleave her head apart if she doesn't nod it for us. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Don't be mean, Shion. I'm going too, Keiichi. I'll talk to Oreo myself. I see. Give her a piece of your mind. Of course, I plan to myself as well. I'll try and be there too. Might be able to help just by being around. This sure is getting interesting. You ready to defeat the evil hag, sis? To be honest, I wish you'd swap with me tomorrow. Keiichi, you've made great progress today. Yeah, the more people we have on our side, the stronger we become. We can save Satoko if the whole village gets together. This village wants one against the national government, after all. The old people seem proud to hear me talk about the Dan conflict. Everyone started talking about all the heroic things they did back then. But we can never save Satoko. But that fate is reaching its end. The power we have right now is overwhelming. The power to defeat fate is far stronger than the mere chance alignment of a few coincidences. What was that noise? That was a very spooky noise. Bear with me, I'm just going to fix something quickly. Okay, sorry. Next evening, we were all gathered at the Sonozaki residence. I thought we'd be talking with Mion's grandmother over tea or something. However, it wasn't so relaxed a situation as that. Mion's grandma stayed on her futon. She was propped up against a huge cushion and made me feel like I was about to talk to a queen. That wasn't the only thing either. There were about 5 members of the Sonozaki family surrounding her, as though I was some kind of Yakuza gathering. Yet this wasn't just any old town council meeting. It was a meeting of the 3 families. I kind of felt as though I didn't belong, but I also didn't have the time to be afraid. If I could persuade this lady, I could get the help from the villagers. Struggling because my little hand is going to sleep. So that's the situation. If the town council doesn't change their current stance, no matter what Keiichi says past this point, the centre won't listen to him. At the very least, the town council just needs to declare their neutrality. The mayor was the first to speak. The old woman looked very grave. I couldn't tell if she always wore an expression like that, or if the story made her look that way. She made a comment in a very low voice to her people. The lady wearing a kimono spoke for her instead. She must be Mion's mother. Smoking hot babe carne. Seriously? Mion's mother is very cool. The CCC is simply doing their job. They understand how much you care about her and are going to take your appeal into consideration. What more are you expecting from them? Mum, let me explain this to you. Satoko's uncle is a horrible man. He regularly beat Satoko last year, and I'm sure he's even worse this time around because of his lover up and abandoning him. Didn't you investigate him, Kasai? Teppei Hojo, I mean. I did make such a report to Ms. Akane. You see, Mum? If we let the CCC take care of this, it'll take months for them to save Satoko. I can't let her stay with that jerk for that long. She's not going to die. Stop making such a big fuss over this. The old lady finally spoke, but she didn't have anything pleasant to say. She might not die, but... Then shut up, you idiot. Worse, you're not even willing to risk your own life over this. Crow backbone, you twit. Ah, what nonsense. More of this and the more nonsense I hear. Wow. So that's why the whole village is afraid of her. This was Oreo Sonozaki, known variously as the Hag or Empress Sonozaki. Oreo, Satoko is my friend. I want you to save her. Rika, remember what I've told you all this time? You have to choose your friends carefully. That girl is a demon child of the Hojo family. I'm disappointed in you too, Dr. Irie. Aren't you old enough to realise what you're doing? Satoko is the daughter of the Hojo family, but she's not the one who supported the Down Project and fought against the village. I think it's unfair for you to judge her that way. Shut up. Who do you think you're talking to, you piece of shit? I haven't got a good voice for Oreo either. You saw she's willing to forgive Stoko? That's what Mion told me. I think I get where the other villagers are coming from now. You look like you have something to say, Keiichi. You should just let it out. I made eye contact with Mion's mum. She's very pretty, but she was wearing the same grave look as Oreo. By then, I had no doubt that this was Mion's mother. I like this artwork, but this one is also really nice. To be honest, I'm not a fan of the original, but I'm a fan of the console and the PC port, like the remake ones. The PC port gets a bit too like intense the anime for me, and the original just isn't an art style that I like. So the console one is my favourite, this style. I just think it looks the nicest, you know. And it's a good medium between the like hyper anime and the hyper cartoony, like a hyper I'm bad. Don't ask me to describe art. I'm not good at it. I don't mind talking. Is it really okay though? Go ahead. You came all the way here to the Sonozaki residence. You should speak if you want to. Reina nodded in agreement. Okay. Ms. Oreo Sonozaki. My name is Keiichi Maebara. I moved here not too long ago. Nice to meet you. I already know a great deal about you. Let me tell you something. When your family moved to this village, you didn't come here to introduce yourself. That left a pretty bad impression. Why was Mion only telling me that now? Sure hope I'm not too late to introduce myself. Leave aside the fact that it's Toka Hojo for a minute. The important thing to note is that a villager is in danger right now. In order to help that person, we have no choice but to make an appeal to the CCC. Besides, I'm doing this all of my own accord. I haven't caused you any trouble. But you heard from the mayor that you've been causing trouble, didn't you? Hinamizawa Town Council and the Shishibone City Hall are working together. Shishibone mayor and this Virago here had a talk with each other and they decided to coexist. That was necessary for this village to prosper. But that village is going to let an innocent girl suffer? Didn't you hear what I just said? No one is just going to let her suffer. The CCC will take action when appropriate. You want them to hurry up, but frankly you're being selfish. The town council and the government officials are in a business relationship. They're treating Stoko's issue like it's an ordinary one. So basically you're saying you don't care how much danger she's in right now? Like Mion just told you, Teppei is a horrible person. When Stoko showed up at the school 3 days after she was kidnapped, she was already at her wit's end. After only 3 days. I can't even imagine what would happen if we left her alone with him for a month. There's no guarantee she'll be saved after that either. At that point, they might decide to put her case on hold again. Mrs. Sonozaki, does the emotional damage she's suffering not matter at all to you? So what do you think we should do? I'm making an appeal to the CCC, asking them to save her as soon as possible. I'm going to continue going to the centre until they do. Well then there you go. You can just continue your appeal. It's none of the Sonozaki's business. Isn't that enough? Damn it. She's so hard-headed. It's easy to win an argument with the old people in the assembly hall since they got agitated so quickly. But Mizukane, Mion's mum, is way tougher than that. Both of the Sonozaki sisters and their grandmother are quick to anger, but Mizukane seemed incredibly calm. She was calm, but still full of animosity. But I can't continue our appeal anymore. If the town council doesn't tell the officials they're going to support us, the CCC won't listen to us at all. Did you hear that, Mum? We can't just do whatever we want. We need the town council to decide whether they're going to support us or not. Actually, the council's already made their decision. They said they'd support us as long as Granny agreed. Who the hell made that decision behind my back? You're all aware of how the Hojo family acted during the dam conflict, aren't you? If you're asking me to forgive them, my answer's still no. I'm not really familiar, actually. What was Stoko's parents like? Her mum was like a stronger version of Stoko. Her dad was, well, Teppei's older brother. He was even stronger and scarier than Teppei. Scarier than Teppei? It's not very funny. I see. Now I'm starting to understand how they clashed with the Sonozakis. I guess she hasn't forgotten how much they pissed her off. Ah, you're saying it out loud so we can hear. My children have told me a lot about you. I heard you're one courageous boy. Let me tell you this straight up. We'll be satisfied as long as that old lady on the futon just nods her head. I'm not expecting you all to get involved in our protest. All I need is for her to nod. And if she said no, I'd smash her head in and make me on the new family head so she can nod for us. What the fucking hell did you just say, you goddamn son of a bitch? Someone bring me a sword. I'll cut him into pieces and dump him in the well. You ready for a fight, old lady? Whatever you ate tonight will be your last supper. Keiichi, no. Shut up, you fucking little shit. Do you even know who you're talking to? The evil hag sent a violent glare my way, the intimidating aura surrounding it becoming almost visible. Normally I'd be terrified. However, I can't back off today. Stoko doesn't have much time left. Everyone here knows that. We all know she'll be forever damaged in only a few more days. We would then cry and lament our powerlessness. We have to fight as best we can so that we have no regrets. There can be no limits as to how far we go to save her. Let me make this clear. Satoko is my friend. I'm fighting for her sake. How about you? I heard you used to be like that. You once fought, you and the whole village, just to save one villager. Isn't that how strongly you rejected the dam project? Just an outsider. Wait a minute, old lady. I'm not an outsider. I'm Keiichi Maebara from Hinamizawa. I'm fighting to save my friend, who's also from Hinamizawa. How can you say I'm an outsider? Mizorio, Maebara came to this village not long ago, but he's already adapted to our way of life. He's a young man with lots of promise. Since when did you think disrespect is the same as promise, Dr. Irie? Someone bring me my medicine and some tea already. All this blood rushing to my head is making it ache. The man on the far end stood up and brought over some tea and medicine. If you think I'm being disrespectful, then let me make this request properly. We want the Sonozaki family's help in order to save Satoko Hojo. Satoko lives in this village too. Moreover, she's my friend. Please help us. As I deeply bowed my head to her, my friends bowed along with me. Keiichi, raise your head. What should we do, mother? It's none of my business. What are you expecting out of me? Satoko is like family to Keiichi. It's only natural for him to seek help for his family. Mom. However, the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family were enemies. They once disparaged Mother in public too. We can never forgive them for doing that. This is an issue of distinction. What do you mean, distinction? They would need to make an apology. However, the parents died in an accident. There's no one else who can apologise to us. Forgiveness won't come cheap. So if she apologises to you, you'll forget about what her family did? The world we live in is one of honour. If she apologises to us, we'll have no choice but to forgive her. Are you going to make Satoko apologise? Sure, I'll make her apologise for what her parents did. Her parents can't be there to do so, but you'll still forgive her, won't you? We'll have to see her before we make our final decision, but I suppose we can say that we'll forgive her. What do you think, Mizorio? What if Satoko apologised to you about the dam conflict? Haha, well, I'll think about that when she apologises to me. I might forgive her if she really did. She laughed, obviously thinking that Satoko would never actually apologise to her. It seemed for a moment as though Reina had compromise in mind. However, Reina always had a plan up her sleeve. But if she apologised to you, would you apologise to her for discriminating against an innocent girl who didn't deserve to be treated that way? Huh? Satoko wasn't the one supporting the dam project. She's just the child of those who did. But you hate her just for her last name. You're not just an ordinary old lady in this village. You hold great influence over the people here because you're the leader of the Sonozaki family. Your public hatred towards Satoko had a huge impact on the way the village thinks. That became clear with the town council too. Everyone is afraid to interact with the Hojo family because of how much you hate them. You're the mother of all Hinamizawa. You were instrumental in keeping us all afloat in the difficult times after the war. It's only natural that you hold such great influence over the people here. You're aware of how much your decisions can affect the whole village. Let me say this again. Satoko is my friend. She's my family. If your influence is going to cause us trouble, I will do battle with you. That's what protecting your friends is all about. I'm impressed to hear that from a city boy like you. Let me ask what the other family members think. Well, how about it, everyone? What he's saying does make sense. The problem between the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family is not his business, but he's clear about how much he wants to save her. There wouldn't be any problem if she wasn't a child of the Hojo family. They can do whatever they want to. We, as a family, can just stay neutral. Don't you agree? No, apparently that's not enough, everyone. Big scary man in sunglasses spoke with a deep voice. He's saying that the town council won't support them unless the Sonozaki family agrees to as well, and without the support of the council, the centre won't listen to them either. We need to be clear about our decision on this one. What do you think? Keiichi, you're a stronger man than my daughters have led me to believe. Frankly, I've had to change my opinion of you. You're a man amongst men. Hello, are you Mion's father? I thought he was the boss of the Yakuza clan or something. He is. I did hear that her dad is exactly that. He certainly looks the part. It's partly your fault that your friend is struggling. Her parents aside, she is just an innocent girl. Isn't that right, Mother? Who even cares? Anyone who bears the Hojo name is an ungrateful little shit. He even told me a few minutes ago he's gonna smash my head in. Bastard like that doesn't deserve to be called a man amongst men. Mother, can we help Keiichi this one time? He is a passionate young man. Not many youngsters these days have that kind of inner strength. Granny, please. We need your help. Satoko is my friend too. I deeply respect how you fought for this village. I want to fight like you, for my friend. I'm asking for your help too. Satoko is my family. She's a little sister to me. Please, please give us your help. Upon seeing the twins bowing so deeply, the stubborn old woman simply stared at them with that grave look on her face. I figured it would be difficult to get her to cooperate with us. The mayor looked troubled too. Mion's grandmother eventually turned to gaze to me and I stared back at her. I already bowed to you once, so I'm not going to do that again. But let me say it just one more time. Please help us. Satoko is my friend and she's one of the villagers. She was never disrespectful to you. You have no reason to hate her. If I nod my head, what happens next? Once the council is on our side, the consultation centre will have to hear us out. If they still don't listen, then we'll go there again. We'll go there with the whole village. Tomorrow is Saturday. The consultation centre is open in the morning. The villagers will all be gathering for the preparation for the festival then, so I'll just take them all along with me. That would be crazy. You'd be involving hundreds of people. How many people would come exactly? I don't know how many of them would, but I'd definitely go make a speech in front of all of them. How do things look to you, Mr. Mayor? Most of the council members are supporting them. Our relationship with the government is important, but some of them think it's more important to fight for Satoko, that is, to resurrect the spirit of the Guardians. We all understand what Keiichi's trying to do and no one disagrees with him. So the whole village is united even without Mother, but you're still seeking final approval from the Sonsaki family? That's a rather dirty way to do business. Mizukane, Mizorio, to put it simply, I feel bad for Satoko. She's doing the best she can even though she's all alone. I think it's time for us to let her know she won't be ostracised by anyone anymore. Refuse. I'll never forgive the demon child or the Hojo family. Fine then, you're the enemy of my friend. That makes you my enemy. I'm gonna kill you right here. Mion, you can take her place and let us all support them. I'm gonna kill this old bat right this minute. As I jumped up, her family members stood in my way. They'd all put their hands into their pockets. I don't want to imagine what they might pull out of there. Pissing me off. How dare you say that? Can't take this anymore. Oreo, think of your blood pressure. I'm sorry, Rika. Will you pass me that bag of medication? My veins really are going to burst. She was mumbling too much for me to tell what she was saying, but I could tell that she was furious. She whispered something into Mion's mother's ear. She spoke for her instead. I'm sorry, but this is it for tonight. She has a horrible headache, she can't talk with you any longer. But I still haven't gotten my answer. Keiichi, you need to learn to play by the adults' rules. I've been very patient with you today. That's because you're a friend of my daughter's. You need to reflect on that, don't you think? Keiichi, we've done enough today. Let's get out of here. Based on Mion and Shion's reaction, Mion's mum is very scary when she's angry. They were convinced their mother was going to explode in about 10 seconds. Still, should we really leave after just that? Damn it, I really want her to not. If she gives me an answer tonight, I can gather a huge crowd tomorrow. The people at the CCC were laughing at us today. We gradually increased the number of people we had until the third day, but on the fourth we had far less. They must think we won't show up at all within a couple of days. No matter what, we can't stop showing up. How many days has it been since she was taken by her uncle? We don't have a single day to waste. However, for tonight, the meeting was over. The old lady went to sleep and we were kicked out of the ring. Even though the rest of us were forced to leave, the mayor stayed behind to wrap things up. We decided to wait in the yard for him to come back out. Damn it, we were almost there. You said everything you needed to say. You have to give her time to think about it. Of course, we don't exactly have time to waste. What do you think, Coach? Mizorio was in a really foul mood today. Once she gets like that, she'll stay that way for at least 3 days. Might be difficult for us to take any villagers along for the protest tomorrow. At least she listened to us until the end. We just have to trust that she'll make the right decision. You're right. It's hard to trust in someone and just wait, though. Hey, everyone. You all did a good job in there. Mion and Shion ran over to join us. Hey, you two did a good job too. How was it? Do you think it'll work out? I have no idea. From the looks of it, she was in a terrible mood. Honestly, Keiichi, I don't think you should ever come back here. So I can't ever hang out at your house again? Jeez. Still, that was really impressive, Keiichi. Didn't even seem scared. Was she that scary? She had a scary look on her face, sure, but it wasn't that bad. You can only say that because you don't know how scary she really is. Well, as they say, ignorance is bliss. That's not true. I think you would have fought her even if you knew how scary she can really be. Speaking of which, she seemed fine when she told you too, Miss Ryugu. She might have raised her voice, but she wasn't actually angry. I wasn't scared at all. Did she really not look angry to you? No, your grandmother wasn't angry at all. Does that really how it looked to her? To me, it looked like her head was going to explode. The next moment, I heard someone walking towards us. It was the mayor, who was accompanied by Mion's mother. Oh, Uncle Kimiyoshi, how was it? Did the old witch finally start melting? Haha, well, we got her approval. What? You mean... The Virago gave you the green light. You can do what you want to now, Keiichi. Are you serious? Is that really true, Mum? Hank was so ticked off, though. Can't even imagine what caused her to grant us permission. No matter how it happened, I guess she accepted me in the end. The Virago gave approval for the town council to support Keiichi. Now you have the ODA on your side. With them, there's no way you can lose. But you can't put up a disgraceful fight either. You only just moved to this village, but you need to understand and appreciate the history of Hinamizawa. Can you take on this responsibility? Yes, I can. My, you're a brave boy. You do have my respect. It takes great courage to address the Virago like that. Gave me chills when you jumped on top of her and put your hands around her throat. Hey, well, I almost did jump on her, but I actually wasn't serious. Listen for a moment. You jumped on top of her and nearly choked her to death. That's how it's going to be. That's so violent. The Virago can't possibly forgive the Hojo family. She also can't possibly give you what you want simply because you came to her and begged her for it. So unless the story goes something like, after Keiichi violently fought with a Virago, she was impressed by his chivalry and decided to grant him special permission, it won't sound convincing. Got it, Mion? Yeah, that sounds great. Things can't just be simple with her, huh? This is how a legend is born. Now people will believe that you physically fought with the hag in order to save Satoko. People are going to be afraid of you, Keiichi. This is the beginning of the legend of Keiichi the Strongest. Everyone will run and hide when they see you on the streets. I don't want to be a legend, but anyway, thank you very much. You don't need to thank me. Town council made a decision. We can't go against their wishes. In fact, we would have preferred if you just ignored us and went ahead with things. That was a dirty move of yours, Mayor Kimiyoshi. Well, I'm glad she gave us her approval after all that. The Virago always worried about Satoko, because people were still treating her poorly. She thought she could only make everything right with her death. Thanks to all of you, she was able to settle this before the end. I'm sure she appreciates it. No, we're very thankful to her as well. I'll have to come her again to thank her in person. That's not a good idea. She'll chase you around with a sword next time. In fact, I'm surprised she didn't do that today. She must be fond of you, Keiichi. I thought so too. Aria was even more fond of using her sword. Rika, don't say that with such a big smile. I'm glad I'm still alive. I've grown fond of you too after today. That's what being a man is all about. Satoko's a very lucky girl, having such a dedicated man as you. Wait, Mum, Satoko and Keiichi aren't like that. Oh, they're not? If he doesn't have a girl yet, then you two have a chance. Hey, Keiichi, between Mion and Shion, which do you prefer? You can call me your mother from now on if you like. I love the moments of humour injected into this game, such as the fact that it is now real bully Keiichi hours. Mion and Shion simultaneously turned red and hit me with their fist and their elbow. The apple sure doesn't fall far from the tree, huh? Mum talks just the same way they do. Well, Keiichi, you managed to successfully persuade Mizorio. Just as we promised, you have the council's support. We'll call the people in charge tomorrow and let them know. And of course, I'll tell them to take Satoko under their protection as soon as possible. We have Mizorio's support too. I'm sure Satoko will be rescued shortly after my call. You serious? You just managed to persuade someone that important, Keiichi. So Satoko will really be safe this time tomorrow? We can't say that for sure. If they refuse Uncle Kimiyoshi's request, that means the ODA will come after them. He's normally a calm guy, but he's like a monster when he becomes the leader of the Guardians, aren't you, Uncle? I'll be a monster if I have to. I can promise you that. I'll do my best to ensure that Satoko is rescued as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Also, would you please stop ostracizing Satoko just because of who her parents were? We heard you saying bad things about her, you know? Something about how she's a member of a cursed family. I was just saying those things because of other people. I don't personally have anything against her. Then quit saying it, alright? Please accept her as just another child of the village. Of course, I'll never say that again. I promise you that. I'm afraid Keiichi might throttle me too. I've got a bad feeling deep in my bones. After that, we started heading back home. Satoko still isn't saved, but I think we made a huge progress today just the same. The mayor is going to call the CCC tomorrow to tell them he's on our side. He's also going to persuade them to save Satoko as soon as possible. He'll bring up Mizorio's name too. Is Satoko really going to be rescued from her fate? I'm sure she will. She might even be saved by tomorrow. If not, we'll go all out next time. It'll be the water end all wars. Also, Rika, Meep? Don't use words like fate anymore. Putting it like that, it's like it's already been decided. But see, nothing is actually decided in advance. We're the ones who make our own futures. So stop using the word fate as if there's nothing we can do. Rika seemed to think about what I said for a while. I wondered for a moment if I said something that hurt her feelings, but then she smiles at me. Okay, I'll do what you say. I won't use that word anymore. You told me you could change fate as easily as tearing a piece of paper, and after 100 years you're about to break the horrible cycle of Tepe's return. I can now believe that the danger that awaits me is something that can be changed as well. Worst thing that could ever happen is you not moving to Hinamizawa. I experienced that twice in the past 100 years. Those were the saddest worlds of all. Huh? I don't understand a thing that came out of your mouth. Trying to confuse the issue, aren't you? Meep, that's a secret. I'll just do just as Keiichi says. I won't use words like fate anymore. Hello, thank you for calling. You've reached Shibane City Hall. Hello, excuse me, could you get the local affairs chief from the social welfare department? Of course, please hold. Thank you for calling. This is the local government section. Hello, may I speak to the head clerk, Mr. Aida? Hello, Kimiyoshi. Thank you very much for the other day. No, it's no problem. Really, I should be thanking you. I'm much obliged. Head clerk is right here. I'll give him the phone. Sir, it's Kimiyoshi, the head of the Hinamizawa Town Council. Hello? How may I help you today? Well, I'm calling about that case at the CCC. Oh yes, a group of young children have been protesting in front of the office. There's such an inconvenience. I'm so glad we were able to talk to you about that. So how did it turn out? Well, villagers officially decided to support Maebara. Eh? Excuse me, could you say that again? Town council agrees with what Maebara is doing. The younger people in the council want to support him as best they can. Well, I say younger, but they're in their 50s and 60s. I see. However, what are the other council members saying? Well, we held an emergency meeting last night. Some of the more hard-headed members were against it at first, but they were persuaded by Maebara in the end. You know, we don't see young people with that much backbone these days. In my opinion, attitudes like that ought to be nurtured for the sake of a brighter future. So, everyone on the council has reached a consensus? Yes, that's right. Everyone came to an agreement. Nobody is opposed to supporting him. Kimiyoshi, as I explained to you, the people at the CCC are doing the best they can. However, they cannot render their final judgment before the investigation period is over. It's a human rights issue. I believe Maebara explained it to them many times. Satoko is being locked up by a terribly violent man. The emotional scar she's suffering will never heal. She'll forever have a deep wound in her pure and innocent heart. Remember what they were saying at the youth seminar the other day? You were there with me, weren't you? Yeah, well, what does the Sonozaki family say about this? Well, Misario also agrees with us. She was very clear about that. If you are going to insist on not rescuing Satoko, the whole village will be joining Maebara's movement. Orio Sonozaki said that? Well, this is a problem within the family, so it's very hard for the government to take care of it. If I could see the man, I'd talk to him in person, but he rarely even leaves his house. Besides, if one of us personally said something to him, he might get nervous and hurt Satoko even more. That's why the local government has to get involved. I understand your point. I'll call Sonozaki in a moment and ask for her opinion too. I'd advise you not to do that. Misario is very upset right now. I really wouldn't call her for some time. Really? That's not good. When she's mad, it's like she turns into a demon. Anyway, I want you to tell the CCC to put Satoko under their protection immediately. I'll come with you if you need me to. We can go right now. Oh no, I can't make you go to all that trouble. I'll call the CCC and give you their feedback later today. I want you to let me know before noon. I'm sure your call won't be so long it stretches into the evening. Is the head of the office that busy? No, he's not. Very well, I'll call you back before noon today. Thank you very much. Tell them that the town council is very upset that they're not taking this appeal seriously enough. Yes, I will let them know. Yes, I'll talk to you again soon. Click. Sir, are you okay? This is bad. Hinamizawa village is kicking up a storm again. Saito, will you please call Miss Sonozaki and ask what's going on? I need to call the CCC. This might be a resurrection of the dam conflict. Oh, hello? Yes, this is the local government section calling. May I speak to the head of the office? Hinamizawa Town Council is supporting them? Thought you told me they weren't connected to this. I did. When I spoke to the mayor the other day, they weren't involved. However, they changed their stance just last night. I understand. However, we're still not going to reverse our decision, even if the whole village does show up. Wouldn't be right to give a special treatment just because the town council protests. Sir, I believe you are aware of this, but they're the ODA. You know about the dam conflict, right? I wasn't living here then, so I don't know much about it. I heard it was some huge government protest or something like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you should pay attention to what they're saying. But wait a minute, I heard that the ODA disbanded years ago. Haven't you had a fairly close relationship with the village ever since then? Things had worked out smoothly. I wonder what happened to change that overnight. Mayor seems to be favouring a young man named Mibara. They have the support of Sonozaki too. It's not a trivial matter. Sonozaki? You mean the ruler of the underside of Hinamizawa? I've never actually met her. At any rate, you need to be very careful. If it's at all possible, I think you should try and protect Hojo immediately. I'm not familiar with this mayor, so I don't know what kind of person he is. A job needs to be done carefully, and no matter the job, it's not right to do things in a disorderly fashion. Our people are doing the best they can. They have piles of other cases to work on. Every single case is very important. We can't just prioritise her case for no reason. I see. I understand. I'll call Kimiyoshi back and let him know your opinion. You need to call him back? Look, the municipal government doesn't exist for this town council's amusement. Why are you bending over backwards just to look after the needs of one village? I understand. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Click. This is really bad. Guy isn't even from around here. He has no idea how stereo that town council can be. It's a transfer from the prefectural office for you. He's fighting against Hinamizawa. I refuse to be responsible for this one. How did you do? Did you get to talk to Miss Sonozaki? Yes, she has the same opinion as Mr. Kimiyoshi. She also wants a call from you regarding what the CCC said. No, it was really bad. I thought this was going to be a happy Saturday. Head of the consultation centre has no idea what he's up against. It's going to be a huge crowd swarming the area by the beginning of the week. We have to call Kimiyoshi and Sonozaki right away, huh? Should I help with that too? Before anything else, I should be calling the mayor of Shishibone. I do have to say, really like this particular song. Icon for this is a telephone. View new tips. No new tips available. What the hell? Right, our next achievement is the rally. Is it really okay to call this a miracle? And then we have number 34, from here on all starts to unravel, which is something that makes me really worried as just like a sentence, you know? So they refused? Yes, I got a call from the local government section. The CCC has no intention of listening to us. They're still trying to do what they can, but we don't have much time. I even told them we have no time to spare. The mayor came to school before noon to explain to us what went down with the officials. We'd all gathered in the teacher's office to meet with him. How? I don't know the head of the centre personally, but he's a pretty tough guy to go against the will of Hinamizawa. He used to work for the prefecture, so he's not familiar with the town council here. He's not treating this like it's a big deal. He's kind of stupid. This isn't any ordinary village he's up against. This is Hinamizawa. What a sad guy. We'll just have to fight them. I spoke with the other council members and we agreed that we can't stay quiet anymore. After all, we can't just nod our heads in defeat and back down after I put our name out there. We'll be heading to the consultation centre after this ourselves. Okay, I'll get right on arranging for the town council to send some people too. I'm about to go consult Mizorio on how to handle this. This isn't like with a dam conflict though. It's an ordinary Saturday. Isn't it going to be difficult to get people to go? Don't worry, Keiichi. This isn't a city. People are out there farming every day of the week. Whether it's a Saturday or a Tuesday doesn't really matter to them. It won't be that difficult to find people who are willing to help out. I see. I tend to think of adults as people who work at big companies, but this is Hinamizawa. I almost forgot about that. Regular government office usually closes at noon on Saturdays, but the CCC is open until 3 PM. Can we all be there at 1? I can't promise you how many people I'll be able to bring along though. It doesn't matter how many people we get, as long as we get people. Thank you for your help. I'm so glad that more adults are involved now. Yeah, this is going to make a huge difference. The number of people we get will depend on what Oyo says. That's true. We'll see how serious she is about helping us based on how many people show up. If the housing is good as mood as my mother says, then we might get about 30. From both the staff and the youth group. I think that's a fair guess. 30 adults plus 10 children? It sounds better than yesterday. I'm coming too. I'll bring my megaphone. Yes! Your legendary megaphone. Thought it was broken. That's the one I used to have. The riot squad broke it. Memories. Can feel the spirit of Onegafuchi making my blood boil. Seems we're going to be holding a festival on the day before Watanabashi too. To the consultation centre. I wonder if they're still going to tell us there's no evidence of abuse just because she hasn't admitted to it yet. It's pretty likely. How are things on your end, Rika? Were you able to persuade Satoko to seek help? I did my best. It's all up to her now. I wish Satoko would stop being so stubborn. Sis, there are both times one should and shouldn't be stubborn. I can understand how Stoko must feel. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it that way. She might not want any help from us, but we wouldn't be her real friends if we couldn't see how scared she is. I agree, it'd be easy if Stoko asked us for help, but it'll be too late if we wait for that to happen. If there's a child in the middle of a busy street, you pull her to the sidewalk before talking to her. Sometimes actions have to come before words. Right, that's a good example. We have to pull her back to the sidewalk first. I've heard what's going on. Now, let's all get back to the classroom and start homeroom. Go home and eat your lunches before you go to the CCC, okay? It's not good to skip meals. I'm full of anxious energy. At that point, everyone was thinking there wouldn't really be 30 adults there to support us. However, we were wrong. I had no idea how serious Hinamizawa can get. By the time I got there with my 10 classmates, the quiet atmosphere around the library completely disappeared. Oh my goodness, are there all these people from Hinamizawa? Not just Hinamizawa, I see some people from Okonomiya too. You're right, some of them are even here in their work uniforms. What an incredible sight. Looks like Oreo got really serious. Apparently, this really is like old times. How I miss the way I felt during the dam conflict. Okay, what's going on today? Hey, Kameda. Well, I just called on the whole village to come here. I thought you'd only be able to get kids. How'd you get all these adults here too? Making me weak in the knees, man. Whoa, there are so many working adults around. Many people shown up, but many different kinds of people too. I wonder how many people there are. I think there's well over 100 so far. More people are still on their way too. Hey Bara, I'm sorry for being late. What an amazing crowd you got together. So this is the power of Onagafuchi. I'd heard about this power before, but this is something else. This is reminding me more and more of the dam conflict. But to get this many people to show up, Keiichi, you're amazing. You're the new face of Hinamizawa. Can't trust that guy anymore now that I know he's a member of the government. Keiichi, there sure are a lot of them, eh? Mr. Kimiyoshi, how many people did you talk to? I'm not quite sure. We just used to phone this and ask people to gather for a meeting with the ODA. Everyone left work and came right here. Hey, you there, this movement is an initiative of the town council, so don't use a banner with the name of the ODA on it, okay? I see Keiichi's father. Hello. Hello, Reina. Keiichi, I'm here to support you. Mom wanted to come to you, but she had to stay home and wait for a phone call. She says to do your best and keep at it. I will, thank you. I've heard the stories about the dam conflict, but this is impressive. You're representing all of these people, right? Yeah, I was only representing 5 of us in the beginning, but it's grown so big now that I don't care if there are 100 or 1,000 people here. No matter what, I'll do everything I can to save my friend. Keiichi, this is it. Yep, our force of arms is more than enough. Those losers are peeping at us through the curtains right now. They must be quaking in their boots. Sir, do you see all those people? What should we do? There's nothing to do, other than our jobs, of course. If they want to protest, let them. I need to leave for a business trip now, so you can handle them. But there's a banner that says we want to talk with the head of the office. See? Ugh. Banner was the same one that ODA had used in the past. They brought along as many banners as they could reuse. This one said the head of the office, but originally it meant the head of the construction office. Of course, the head of the CCC didn't know about that. I spoke with 3 of those representatives the other day. According to the people from City Hall, these Hinamizawans have a good memory. If they see you walking outside to the parking lot, they'll recognise your face. Sir, there are some people protesting by the back door too. What do you mean? Are they going to kidnap me or something? During the dam conflict, it wasn't uncommon for people to get injured. If you can postpone your business trip, I'd recommend you do so. Well, I guess that'd be for the best. It's not an emergency, so I'll just stay here for today. In the next moment, the crackling noise of a speaker echoed outside. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me? This is the Hinamizawa Town Council. We're sorry for causing trouble in our neighbourhood. Testing, testing. They were adjusting the output of the speakers. Automatically went into robot voice there without thinking. A few trucks carrying those speakers were parked outside. The head of the consultation centre finally realised in that moment what it really meant to fight against the village of Hinamizawa. There are so many people out there. They might barge in at any minute. If they come inside, they'll disturb our work. Don't let them in. It was half an hour past the appointed assembly time. The mayor told me there were still a few more people on their way. Even more people are going to show up? Raina counted up all of the people already here already and found there were more than 150 of them. I really doubt we can get this many to come back by Monday afternoon. Hopefully we can finish this today. Alright, Keiichi, let's begin. The mayor gave me the green light. He wanted us to chant our slogan in chorus before going inside. It really was like a real protest. Mion, do you think all of us can fit inside that tiny office? Do you think so? Of course we can't all fit. We'll split up into those who can go in and those spilling out. That's why we had everyone start chanting together before we go in. Sis, you can't break or kick anything today. Like I'd ever do something like that. You got me in so much trouble when you pretended to be me doing all that. Hey, isn't that Mr. Oishi? I didn't expect to see him here. Of course, he's my mahjong friend. He came here to support me, even though he's not from Hinamizawa. Mibara, hello there. Mr. Oishi, you're here right on time. We're getting ready to go inside right now. Mibara and Kichiro have the same voice because I can only do so many variations on the deep voice. Well, I can't even do that many variations, so all of my voices are essentially the same. I'm not very good at, like, conveying emotion through my voice. So, looks around shiftily and lays on the floor instead. We're getting ready to go inside right now. Oishi was accompanied by a few of his own men. He brought along 4 police officers in uniform. Mr. Maebara, I need to have a little chat with you. Oh, hello there, Miyake Miyoshi. Hello, Mr. Oishi. What brings you here? I need to have a talk with the 2 of you right now. May I? Oh, and can it be in private, please? Eh? What do you need from us? Well, you're on government property here. Obstructing it for any given reason is prohibited. I was really taken aback. I thought we were just getting started, but Oishi, and by that I mean the police, are telling me to break up the crowd. What do you mean? The government isn't going to listen to the voice of its citizens? Look, we're not doing anything wrong. We're here to ask them to help Satoko. Why is that such a bad thing? We're protesting here without permission, for one. Also, there's a policy at the CCC which allows the caretaker of the building to dismiss any client when he feels they're disrupting their service. Caretaker of the building? Who is that? Well, that would be the head of the office here. What a cheap trick. He won't even let us speak our minds. Where are we supposed to protest then? If we have to get off the property, can we do it across the road? If you want to use public roads, you have to get permission from the Public Safety Department first. You'll have to contact them through the police. In other words, you have no choice but to disband for today. My Bara, seems they really do hate you. This is ridiculous. Don't believe this. We have so many people here in support of Satoko, and you're saying we can't even talk to them? My friend Sinor came running over. Mr. Oishi explained the situation to them, and they reacted exactly the same way I did. No way. It's horrible. No matter what we say to them, all they do is jot down the amount of people in the group. That's why we brought lots of people here today. But they do have the right to refuse us. There's nothing we can do about that. We have to either listen to the police or disregard what they say entirely. Damn conflict's been over for a while. I don't want to play that game anymore. Damn it. Damn it. What are we going to do then? Do we just have to leave and come back later? Same thing will happen when we do. They'll just call the police again. Head of the consultation centre has no intention of letting us in there ever again. We must have really upset him. So what are we going to do now? We'll just have to be patient. We can't protest on their property, we'll just have to do it from across the road. Seeing that every day will put a lot of pressure on them. It's going to take way too long. Government is like the Yakuza. It'll get more complicated if we keep making them mad. So even the ODA can't do anything about this? How pathetic. Can't you do something about this, Uncle? Ugh. Shion, in a battle like this, you have to be patient. They're refusing us so blatantly, just like the construction office did in the dam conflict, so we'll just have to surround them and dig in for the prolonged fight. But that's not going to work. There are so many people here. I was supposed to end this today. Satoko didn't come to school again today. Her uncle called and claimed that a cold had resurfaced. He promised she'd be back on Monday, but hearing that wasn't any relief to us. Today is Saturday, so there are 2 more days until then. Nothing is guaranteed for Satoko. In the world I imagined, it was too late to save Satoko by the day before Tanagashi. The Satoko in real life hasn't gotten to that point yet, but nothing guarantees she'll be fine in 2 days. I don't know if she'll still be sane the next time we see her. So this is going to be a stalemate? Do we really have to wait until they make their final decision? No, Keiichi, we have no time to waste for Satoko. I just know that something bad is going to happen. We've got help from this many people, yet we can't even go inside the building. Rika said that with tears in her eyes. Damn it, damn it, damn it! I told Rika that I could defeat anything if I put my mind to it. I don't want to give up here. Even a few days ago, we never imagined we'd get this many supporters. We got approval from the town council, and even from Mion's grandma. What else am I supposed to do? What can we do to make our wish come true? Is there something we haven't done yet? Oh, son of a bitch. Rika, you don't have to look so sad. Meep, we're doing everything we can. You believe that, right? I believe we did everything we can do. We just have to wait for the wind to come. We just have to wait. I'm sure that a strong wind is on its way. When is that? Oh, damn it, damn it, damn it. Stoko was sleeping like the dead. If he didn't have sent her to school, that annoying teacher might come to harass him again. He really wanted her to go to school today. However, no much she forced her to wake up, she collapsed and went back to sleep. He touched her forehead and realised she had a high fever. If he sent her to school like that, they might say something about it. He had no choice but to call the school and tell them she's sick again. Che asked him many questions, but Tepe told her she really was sick this time. 1 hour later, he realised he'd said something he shouldn't have to the teacher. Ever since he talked Turko in, there'd been nothing but trouble. Teacher came to visit him the day after he took her. He received calls every so often too. They were all from the CCC. Every single one of them told him to put Stoko on the phone. Tepe was still certain that Stoko wouldn't give them up, because of the fear that he'd destroy Toshi's room if he did. However, he wasn't sure how long she'd keep her silence. In short, Tepe had no idea whether or not Stoko would continue to do as she was told. The only thing he knew for absolute certain was that he couldn't control her forever with fear alone. He could frighten her with just a look, but that fear wouldn't last for a very long time. He wanted to leave the house before Stoko got him into trouble, but in order to do that, he needed to find the bank book as soon as possible. Stoko was sleeping like an abandoned kitten inside of a wrinkled blanket. She was sweating heavily and breathing deeply. Both were signs of a very high fever. Tepe wasn't concerned in the least. Instead, he felt this was his chance. In that state, she wouldn't notice if he went into Satoshi's room. He promised her he wouldn't mess around in there as long as she stayed obedient to him. In reality, he went into Satoshi's room while he was at school, but he was very careful about putting everything back into place. However, by this point he'd had enough. He was anxious to leave as soon as he could. Even Tepe could tell that Stoko's fever wasn't from a cold, but from distress. If she got even sicker, it could cause even more trouble for him. He slowly crept up the stairs, heading for Satoshi's room. He tried to open the door slowly, but it was stuck on something. He assumed he'd just hit the furniture with the door, but in the next moment, crash! He heard the loud sound of falling metal. Something had been stuck behind the door, and it had knocked over something on the bookshelf. Tepe clicked his tongue. He had been planning to sneak into Satoshi's room while Stoko was asleep, and shortly after that, he heard her running up the stairs. She wasn't running just because she heard a noise. She was running because she heard a noise from Satoshi's room, and that means that Tepe was trying to get inside. Stop! Stop! Don't go inside Nini's room. Ah, fuck, I was just gonna look around for a minute. No damn luck. All I need is some cash. I know there's a bank book inside his room. I know that you hid it in there. Be a good girl and tell me where it is. I don't know anything about bank book. It's not inside Nini's room. Don't mess around in there. Leave it alone until he comes home. Nini! Shut the fuck up. Stoko let out a dull cry as she went rolling across the floor. Nini! Nini! Stoko's screams echoed around the room. Hitting her would leave a mark, and then the CCC would harass them, and maybe more than that. As a man of violence, it was already stressful enough to be warned not to hit her, but once he hit her on impulse like he just did, his restraint was all gone. Stoko was crying and holding her left cheek. She might have suffered a cut on the inside of it when he hit her. She'd bloody drool trickling out a corner of her mouth. Fucking hell, that did it. Centre's gonna be back here next week. Gonna be in real shit if it's still swollen by then. God damn it. This is more trouble than it's worth. Quit with the Nini already. You're supposed to be a broken record or something? Can it? Tepe kicked her, and she curled up on the floor. Ever since Rena had abandoned him, nothing good had happened at all. Watch as I misspell a title. Or as I misspell the stream title to put a content warning in it. I feel like I should always do that when I'm streaming certain bits of Higurashi, yet here we are. All he got was a whiny little girl. All she can do is cook and clean. Other than that, she just acts scared all the time. So once Toko started crying like an infant, Tepe also lost his mind. Said, shut up. Didn't you hear me? Who are you whining to? Damn it, damn it, damn it. Mr. Orishi, will you please leave us alone for today? Satoko is in danger as we speak. Hey now, if you touch me, I can arrest you for obstructing the law. Damn it. Stop it, Keiichi. He's just trying to piss you off. Hey, young man, you won't live long with that kind of attitude. Oh, now I'm scared. If you keep on talking to me like that, I'll arrest you for threatening an officer. Calm down, Keiichi. He's on our side. What are you saying, Reina? Can't you see? He's being nice to you right now. He's saying these things because he's a policeman, but I think he's still on your side. If he really wanted to make us leave, he wouldn't be talking to us like this. He'd simply use force. But he's still blocking our way right now. How can he still be on our side? Mr. Orishi, you've got a call on the cruiser from the chief. Oh, thanks. I've got to go for now. Start vacating the area, please. If you take another step forward, I'll take it as a declaration of war. Got it memorized? Ooh, God damn it. Got it memorized? What is that a reference to? I'm gonna have to, like, Google this now. I'm sure that that's a reference to bloody Axel from Kingdom Hearts. That's who it is. I could picture the like character doing the got it memorized animation in my head. I just couldn't picture the character who it was. Hello, Oishi here, reading you loud and clear. Mr. Oishi, how's the situation there? It's fine. Everyone's being perfectly reasonable. There are quite a lot of people here, so it's taking time to break them up. Really? We're still getting calls from the CCC. They're wondering when you can get them out there. They'll leave soon. I've already spoken to the leader, taking time for him to explain it to his people. If they call again, tell them to wait for a little bit. I heard that the ODA are back in action, but it seems like it's not getting too messy this time. Yes. Damn conflict's been over for a long time. Just give them a little bit to pack up and leave. Mr. Oishi, how could you lie to him like that? You haven't made any progress in persuading the leader yet. Now, was that really a lie? Chief warned us this could turn into a riot. I think we should call for help and shut this down before anything happens. Kuma, don't be mean. Excuse me? He got this many people in order to help his friend. That's no small feat, you know. Whole village is here, and that means he persuaded Oreo Sonozaki. Wouldn't be easy for a young boy like him to persuade the Empress. You think Oreo Sonozaki is backing this crowd? The girl they're trying to help is Toko Hojo, the daughter of the dam supporters. It's hard to believe the villagers would be trying to save her. There was a thick wall between them and the Hojo family, but he broke that wall down in just a few days. Actually, I've been following his progress up to this point. I saw him at the Watanagashi planning meeting. He's a damn courageous boy. The elder screamed and yelled at him, but he wasn't scared at all. He magnificently brought them over to his side. After that, they told him they'd support him if he could also persuade Oreo. Since he's here today, he apparently also succeeded at doing that. He's going to be someone big one day. You should probably get close to him while you still can. I knew it. You were taking it easy today. Normally very direct, so I was surprised when you started negotiating with him. I want to say Maebara earned a little credit today. Oishi said something he shouldn't say as a policeman. Kumagai had to struggle to understand what he meant. But giving Oishi a thin smile, he asked him a question. Do you want to leave without disbanding them? Ooh, nah, we don't need to treat them special. You don't know anything about the ODA, you and Maebara both. They're not as weak as you think. You'll see. You want to wait and see what they do, huh? As usual, we're doing a thankless job. Ooh, want a cigarette? Kumagai accepted the offer, taking a cigarette from Oishi's hand. In the next moment, two black vehicles stopped short in front of the building, their brakes screaming under the stress. There they come. Look closely, Kuma. Several men wearing well-tailored suits emerged from the vehicles. Some of them looked like muscle-headed gangsters, some of them all resembled intelligent businessmen. There was a clearly overbearing old man in a hakama with a crest, and what looked like a whole circle of Yakuza leaders arrived after him. Is Keiichi Maebara present? Where is he? I'm Keiichi Maebara. How may I help you? Don't worry, we're on your sides. Who are you exactly? Oh, hey uncle. Why are you here? I can't believe he actually showed up. Shion and Mion's surprised reactions made me feel nervous. Keiichi, you're the leader here. There's no need to hesitate. Let's go. The group of men clapped me on the shoulders. But I can't go. The police are here. Alright, stop there, boys. I'm Oishi from the Okonomiya PD. Good afternoon. Where are you all heading? Who do you think you are? How could you stop law-abiding citizens from conducting a protest? Well, Sonozaki essentially. We're here because... Mr. Sonozaki, I should say. Whoops. We're here because the Child Consultation Center called us. Mr. Sonozaki? Is he a teacher from some school? Wait, no, I don't have time to joke around. Man in a hakama must be the Sonozaki family's representative on the prefectural assembly. I heard he's a really scary guy when he raises his voice, just like Mion's grandma. Get away, you damn pig. Who gave you orders to get in their way? Chief of Police ordered us here. I can't disobey him, you know. Okonomiya Police Chief? He's gonna hear some real complaints from me later. Tell him to be ready. Mr. Oishi's partner was doing his best not to laugh. Okay, I'll relay that, Mrs. Shrimp. Anyway, there are rules in the city. Like how the caretaker of a building can order people to vacate their property if he thinks they can cause trouble for his business. As Mr. Oishi explained in a strange, half-troubled and half-delighted manner, one of the intelligent-looking guys started talking instead of Representative Sonozaki. Hello, I'm the attorney, Sonozaki from the Sonozaki Law Consultancy Office. I went over the laws that apply to the CCC. Their claim is unjust and it could be considered an abuse of their authority. Here is a copy of the regulations. Furthermore, Keiichi Maebara is the appointed leader of the Hinamizawa Unified Council. This is the power of attorney issued by the council. EHUC is a Good Samaritan organisation of citizens formed under observation of the Shishibone local government section. Makes him a proper representative of the organisation, and he went through the proper channels. Rejecting his appeal is a clear abuse of authority and violates the municipal public servant regulations. Therefore, the order made by the head of the CCC is unlawful, and if the police continue to interfere with this movement, then... Okay, I understand, my apologies. Well then, you can carry on, everyone. That's what you should have said from the beginning. Let's go, Keiichi. Wait, you might be disrupting their business if everyone goes inside. Don't worry, only the representatives are going in. Is even that going to interrupt their business? With 4 couches in the visitors' room, I assume they can easily hold 10 people in there. Guess you know better. Please, go on ahead. Maebara, let's go. Nobody's going to stop us now. Yes, sir. Hey, Reina, Mion, Shion, Rika, we're going in. Yeah, let's go. Is this all part of Ario's plan? Probably. I didn't think she'd talk to these guys too. Guess she needs her, respect my authority type thing. No matter how you look at it, it's the Sonozaki family giving us the most support. I wonder what made the hag change her mind. I'm not surprised at all. I always believed that Mion's grandma would help us. Really? I said some nasty things to her last night, but right now I could kiss her. Alright, everyone, we're going inside. Yeah. Crowd cheers. The main event is about to begin. Maebara, please save Hojo. Help rescue Satoko. Hey, Maebara, good luck. This is, wish you luck. Show us what you got. I will. I'm gonna get them. Whole bunch of stupid dialogue here. Maebara, we'll wait for you here. We look forward to hearing the good news. Yes, bring us good news. I'll be waiting for you too. I pumped my fist in the air in response to their high expectations. Filled with stress. We entered the CCC, backed by the power of the Sonozaki family. Finally made it. It was cool inside the building, unlike the outside world. I could still hear the crowd, but at a lower volume. It was loud enough to hear their cheers. The staff in the building must have known who we were. They tried to concentrate on their work as if they didn't see us. Hello, sir. How may I help you today? I'm Maebara Keiichi. I'm here to request that Satoko Hojo be put under protection immediately. Just go get the person in charge here. The representative of the Hinamizawa Town Council is here to see him. He is unable to see you at this time. I'll take a message for him. Hello, I'm a lawyer from the Sonozaki Law Consultation Office. For the purpose of its future use, I'll be recording a conversation from this point forward. We'd like to be treated responsibly by the CCC. I will try and see if he's available. Please wait for a moment. Hariyama, it's been a while. Representative Sonozaki, how have you been? I'm here today as a member of the Hinamizawa Town Council. May I see the head of the office, please? Of course. Hey you, take them to the reception area inside the boss's room and serve them some tea. Guess the power of a representative can really get public officials moving. I heard there are both prefectural and municipal representatives in the Sonozaki family. We have power of them both today, and that means we have nothing to fear. I hope! We were inside the office, but the head of the office wasn't to be found. I'm sure he's somewhere in this building. All the exits are blocked. There's no way he could escape from us. You better not be thinking he can hide from us all day. The head of the office, in fact, was peeping out through the blinds of the meeting room on the 2nd floor. He was shaking in fear. Why are they inside the building? What are the police doing? Well, actually, both the prefectural and municipal Sonozaki representatives are here. They have a lawyer with them too. They're asking for an answer, but only management has the authority to respond. Okay, I've got it. Today is Saturday. It's nearly 3, right? I'll just stay here until then. Have them leave after we close up. Meanwhile, I'll talk with the municipal manager about what to do next. Thought he told you to concede. He said something about a town council. I was expecting a bunch of neighbourly old men. Never thought I'd see representatives and lawyers and yakuza. Who would have thought there'd be 200 people out there? Well, that's Hinamizawa. Anyway, the office is closing in 10 minutes. I'm sure they'll threaten me if I meet with them, but I'm not going to concede. That's my duty as a civil servant. Been working for the government for 40 years and I'm not ashamed to boast about that. I'll never compromise just because some gangster threatens me. In the next moment, the phone in the conference room rang loudly. The head of the office nearly jumped out of his skin. Scared even of the phone, he told the manager to tell whoever it was that he wasn't there. Hello, this is Hariyama. Oh, thank you. I'll let him know. Sir, it's a municipality calling. Hello? I'm in deep trouble. There are about 200 people surrounding the CCC right now. They even have representatives on their side. What should I do? I did tell you this would happen, but it's your job as a municipal government to control trouble within the town councils. Do something about this. It is your sworn duty to take care of this. That's not our job. Our job is to support the growth of the local communities of the region, and I don't care. Can't you do something about this? At this point, you have no choice but to accept their request. I think you should stop being so stubborn about policy. A government is there for its citizens. Isn't that right? Can't you just peacefully accept their appeal? You're an official too, aren't you? How dare you take the side of the town council? I'm not going to concede. I'm going to follow the regulations. On principle, I'm against manipulation like this and corruption, but in this case, this principle is also it's based on my experience as an office worker who so often is absolutely fucked over by the I can't break regulations or else I will get in trouble, like, oh, why can't you just send me all my certificates now? And it's like, well, because I'm not allowed to. Or why can't you just enroll the student even though none of the paperwork's filled in properly? Because it's not filled in properly and I don't get paid enough to commit a fraud. Most of the time. God, I hope that officer appreciates it. A civil servant's duty is to conduct business impartially. I've never broken that rule in my entire career. I passed the administrator's exam because I always follow the rules. Well, it's your decision. We'll do our best to help. But I told you, didn't I? I know I did. I know I told you not to get them upset. Fine, then I won't ask for your help anymore. I'm hanging up the phone. Click. Sir, even if you manage to get away from them today, they'll come back on Monday. What are you going to do then? I'm sure the mayor knows about this by now. This will definitely come up at the weekly meeting. I haven't done anything that would upset the mayor. No matter what he says to me, that's what I'll tell him. Phone rang once again. Once again, the head of the office trembled in fear. The manager had to reluctantly pick up the phone. Yes? Can you transfer it here? Yes, this is the right office. One moment, please. Sir, you have a call from City Hall. City Hall? Not the municipal officers. Who is it now? It's the mayor. Yes, that's right. They're members of the town council in Minagoroshi. Yes, I understand. Please listen to what they have to say. No, that's not true. It's important to be impartial and unbiased, but you must act according to the occasion. Yes, please do so. After you're done, please come to the mayor's office and give me a report. I expect you by 6 PM. Thank you very much. The man spoke with a gentle demeanour, but in a tone that didn't allow objection. Then the elderly man in a double suit set the receiver down. Thank you for that. Oria was sitting on the couch in the reception area. Akane was there with her too. Not a problem. It's been a while since you visited City Hall. I was surprised to see you here today. Sorry for the surprise. If you can just ask someone a favour, I want to see them in person. Thank you, really. It's no problem at all. I'm sorry that our staff was so impolite. I should have taught them better. Maintaining a good relationship between municipal governments and town councils is vital. So he says. However, the mayor couldn't believe that Empress Sonozaki came all the way to see him just to save one little girl. It's a huge deal when Oria Sonozaki comes directly to his office. It's also unusual for her to do things indirectly to begin with. Rather than leading the charge herself, she was having Keiichi Maebara save Satoko. The mayor understood she was doing this so Keiichi Maebara would get all the credit. Because of that, he was very interested in this young Keiichi Maebara. Sounds like quite a young man. Can't believe he's gone so far just to save his friends from an abusive relative. I know. He's one of a kind. I'm not worried about the future of Hinamizawa as long as someone like him is around. Can die peacefully now. Please, Mother, don't joke around like that. Haha. It was worth living this long if I was able to meet someone like him. Take care of that Keiichi boy if something happens again. You've grown fond of him. Are you still mad at me for not having any boys? It was now 3 PM, and I heard the announcement that the centre was closing. The head of the office finally showed up in the room. He seemed like a totally different person. When I first met him, he had a cold attitude and responded to questions with blunt answers. But now he was much nicer and agreed with everything we said. I guess the power we held must have intimidated him. If I was alone, I would have never gotten him to listen to me. It's thanks to everyone's support that I am able to talk to him now. I understand. I'm very sorry for all the confusion. We will take action immediately. Manager, please call Miss Holder's house right now. Yes, sir. Satoko, finally. Finally free. Tepe stopped kicking her as he heard the phone ring. He'd ignore the call, but if it was someone from the CCC, they might become suspicious of him. He'd hurt Satoko enough to leave bruises. He couldn't let them visit, so he had no choice but to deal with them over the phone. It's enough for now. You better remember where you hid the bank book by the time I come back. All Stoko could do was curl up and cry. Hello, who is it? Good afternoon, this is the Shishibono Child Consultation Centre. Again? Do you guys have nothing better to do? Why don't you stop calling me and work on your other cases? Getting paid with the taxes I pay, you know. We're very sorry to interrupt you. One of our social workers will be visiting your home shortly. May I get permission for them to enter the premises, please? No way, we're cleaning the whole house right now. We can't have any visitors today. Come back again some other time. The consultation centre wouldn't give up. Tepe wanted to hang up the phone, but if he did, he knew they'd show up for sure. I was told that Stoko didn't come to school today. She's home, isn't she? If she's really sick, she should be resting at home, I expect. There's something quite urgent that I need to ask her. What the hell do you need her for? I'm the guardian, so I'll answer you instead. Are you refusing to put Stoko on the phone? I'm not refusing. I'm just saying I'll answer your questions in her place. Can't you see what I'm saying? What's your name, anyway? I'm asking you one more time. May I speak with Stoko, please? Damn it! You thought dealing with government officials was a bit like playing whack-a-mole. If you hit them hard enough, they won't show up for a while. But today, whoever was on the phone seemed so provocative and self-assured. Tepe sensed they'd definitely come to the house if he didn't put Stoko on. And if they sounded like that over the phone, if they came to the house, they might be bringing along more than just a couple of people. For all Tepe knew, they might even bring a police officer. If they did, he couldn't turn them away at the entrance. He knew too well just how scary police officers could be. Look, wait a minute. I'll go and wake her up. Give me some time. He covered the phone with his hand and spoke to Stoko downstairs. Stoko, CCC wants to ask you something. Can you come to the phone, please? Even though he'd just been beating her, Tepe was addressing her in a sweet, phony voice. It would disturb people to hear him talk like that. Stoko knew that his sweet voice was the scariest tone of voice he had. She couldn't refuse after hearing him talk like that, so she obeyed him and went upstairs. Tepe grabbed her shoulders with all her might and whispered in her ear. No matter what happens, we're a happy family, right? Don't you dare forget that, alright? Yes. Remember, if you upset me, I'll destroy Satoshi's room. If you behave well, I promise I'll never enter his room again. Is that a deal? Huh? Huh? He squeezed her shoulders even tighter. Stoko contorted her face in pain. We're making up now, right? Huh? Yes. We're a happy family. Tepe gave the phone to Stoko as soon as she nodded. He stood behind her, continuing to grip her shoulders tight. It was like a raptor gripping its prey with sharp talons. Stoko Hojo, this is Hariyama speaking from the CCC. How's everything going so far? Are you having any problems with Mr. Tepe? The volume on the phone was low enough that Tepe couldn't hear what they were saying. However, he squeezed Stoko's shoulders harder and urged her to say something, because the silence could be interpreted as a negative answer. Yes, everything is working out between my uncle and I. You don't have any problems with him? Sure, go ahead. Hello, Stoko? It's me, Keiichi. Are you okay? Yeah, it's safe here. Stoko, we're about to come save you. If you admit that you need help, the CCC will put you under their protection immediately. It's not just the centre either. The mayor of Shishibono City is supporting his team. Crazy, isn't it? It's all thanks to the Samazaki family. Mion's grandma is doing all of this for you. Stoko always felt bitter towards the Samazaki family because they were often the ones talking about her behind her back. She hated Oreo most of all. It didn't make sense to her that Oreo would do anything to help her. I know you went through a lot of hard times after the dam conflict. I didn't notice it, but you were being treated coldly for a long time. But I took care of all those people for you. No one will ever treat you badly in Hinamizawa again. I wish I could show you all the people that have gathered around the consultation centre right now. Everyone from Hinamizawa is here to save you. They're even skipping the preparation for tomorrow's festival. Huh? Oh sure. I have a message from the Samazaki family. Mion's grandma said to say hello to you. She's sorry about how she treated you. She wants you to come visit her house sometime. You hear that? She's on your side now. She went to see the mayor in person just for you. But, you know, the same goes for us too. We've been coming to the CCC every day since you were taken away. Everyone has been supporting us, and all for your sake. Now we have the whole village of Hinamizawa on our side. Hang on, Rika wants to talk to you. Stoko, it's Rika. Rika. Keiichi brought it all to an end for you. The people of Hinamizawa aren't going to be mean to you anymore. So no one will ignore you when we go shopping together. They won't treat you differently from me anymore. No one will treat you cold anymore. Stoko wasn't sure if she should feel happy or sad that Rika noticed how badly the villagers were treating her. All she could do was let out a bitter laugh. Can't believe that. Indeed, I can't believe it either. Rika? Stoko was surprised. She was surprised to hear Rika's voice sound so mature over the phone. She almost sounded like a different person. When you were taken away by your uncle, I thought it was an unchangeable fate. I gave up, thinking there was nothing but a dead end ahead of us. I'm sure you felt that way too. But I found out there's no such thing as fate. There's no dead end ahead of us. Keiichi broke that all down and smashed it into a million pieces. Stoko, don't give in to misfortune anymore. We're almost there. All you need to do is nod your head. But I have to get stronger. That's because of how much you suffered. You're trying to overcome that. You felt guilty towards Satoshi because you hid behind his back when you were abused by your aunt. I know that you're trying to take Teppei's abuse as a form of self-punishment. I understand you're trying to get stronger as an apology towards your brother. I can respect that courage, and it shows how much you've grown up. Satoshi would be proud of you if he was here right now. He would pat your head. He would pat it so gently. Mimi, did you really believe what I just said? That's not good, Satoko. You're nowhere near as strong as Satoshi. Not at all. Rika's words were suddenly toned with malice, penetrating Satoko's heart the moment she thought she was saved. You think that taking this abuse will make you stronger, but is this really that different from last year? You're just waiting here for Satoshi to come home. You're waiting for him to come back and save you again. You don't even know what kind of strength Satoshi held within him. Satoshi didn't just cry and quake in fear like you're doing. He fought. He fought his horrible aunt. He fought in order to save you. Remember the sight of Satoshi standing up to your aunt? The one you cried in terror from, with his arms spread wide to protect you? Satoshi was just as scared as Satoko was. All she'd ever seen was her brother's back. She had no idea what kind of expression he was wearing on his face. He didn't want to stand in front of his furious aunt, but he had no choice if he wanted to protect his sister. Satoko never once saw how scared he was, and she never once saw how courageous he was in spite of that. Satoshi fought. He didn't just take the violence that was dealt to him. He fought it and struggled against it. I was no different from you once. I stopped fighting because I gave up. I stopped struggling against it. I chose to accept fate, quietly endure my pain. I thought it was a waste of time to seek help, just like you. I was just waiting for someone to come along who would change my circumstances. But I've decided to fight. That's why I'm on the phone with you now. I'm going to change this fate on my own, and I'm going to persuade you to nod your head. Satoko, he's right behind you, isn't he? Yes, he's here. Look at his face now. See how evil and scary he looks. Realise how brave Satoshi was to fight back against that furious face. If you want to give something back to Satoshi, don't just take his abuse without seeking help. You have to do what Satoshi did for you. Can't you recognise that? Satoko slowly looked back at her uncle, though she was afraid to do so. He was wearing an unpleasantly broad grin while gripping her shoulders so tightly. Ultimately, it wasn't even really about dealing with her aunt and her uncle. It was about dealing with her fear. Satoshi faced his fear. He could have chosen to run from it or just sit and take it, but he fought for his little sister instead. He fought that fear and didn't falter. And what was Satoko doing? She believed that the violence she was suffering was the punishment she deserved. However, Rika wasn't wrong. Satoko wasn't trying to gain strength at all. She was only shutting herself out until someone came to save her. She wasn't doing anything on her own. She was only waiting for someone else to do something about it. Satoshi faced it. He faced this fear. That was his strength. Are you scared? Are your teeth chattering? Are you feeling shivers running down your spine? That's exactly how Satoshi felt when he tried to protect you. You have to understand that. Do you know what Satoshi wanted from you? Do you know what he was trying to show you? If you don't know, Satoshi will never come back to you. What's the deal? What's taking so long? Satoko was consumed by fear. Her teeth were chattering and she felt shivers running down her spine. And that was what Satoshi felt every time she cried. Show us your strength, Satoko. Show Satoshi how much you've grown up over the past year. Show Satoshi that you are grown as brave as he is. Rika, but Even as she asked for help that very minute, Teppei wasn't just going to disappear. Once she asked for help, she'd need to survive until someone physically came to the house to rescue her. Satoko ached all over her body. Her wounds were pulsing along with her heartbeat, and she could taste the blood in her mouth. It wasn't as easy as Rika made it sound. One nod wasn't going to solve everything at once. They had no idea how hard it was for her to nod. What did her Nini look like when he protected her? She couldn't remember his face, but she remembered the strength in his words, and she maybe even heard a little bit of fear in his voice. Even so, he still fought. He faced his fears and fought for her sake. Satoko was scared, just like Rika said. Her teeth were chattering and she felt shivers running down her spine. But she had to face him. She had to challenge him, to fight him, and to break the cycle. Satoko, I'm going to give the phone to an employee at the consultation centre. Tell them with your own words. Yes. Yes. Show me that courage. Hello again. It's Hariyama from the consultation centre. Please allow me to ask you one more time. Are there any problems between you and your uncle? Satoko looked at Teppei again as she listened to the question, looked straight into the face of terror. All she ever did was hide behind Satoshi's back. Show me that courage. It wasn't only Rika. Her Nini was watching her too. Me? Excuse me? Could you please repeat that? Help me! The moment the words left her mouth, Teppei clocked his knees upside her head with every bit of strength he had in him. Satoko rolled down the hallway, still clutching the telephone receiver. Oh, Satoko, finally betrayed me, huh? I hate you. Get out of my house. This house belongs to my Nini and me. This house belongs to my family. I hate you. Get out of here. You little bitch. Satoko wasn't just going to take a beating any longer. Instead, she spread her arms wide and jumped onto her uncle. Of course, that wasn't going to hurt Teppei at all. Satoko was as weak as a newborn puppy to him. That was, however, the best attack she had at her disposal. Satoko was fighting for the first time in her life. She decided to stop waiting for someone to save her. In the end, she was the only one who could save herself. Enduring her uncle's violence had never meant anything at all. She thought she learned something from her Nini, but she'd been mistaken this whole time. What's with that look in your eyes, huh? I'm going to push your front teeth in. But just as Teppei raised his fist, someone loudly hammered on the front door. Teppei Hojo, open up. This is the police. Teppei couldn't help but jump in surprise. It had barely been a minute since Satoko asked for help over the phone. Open up this door. If you don't, we're going to break it down. How did it turn out? How's Satoko? Satoko asked for help. The CCC is going to take action now. But she's still in danger. Teppei might kill her for betraying him. We'd heard a violent noise right after she asked for help. In other words, Satoko had been brave enough to do that in front of her uncle. We have to get there right away. Can someone give us a ride? Several of the villagers who came by car started their engines. The crowd had started to realise what was going on. Damn it! We're coming as fast as we can, Satoko. Oh, don't worry about that, Maebara. The police entered the Hojo residence not a moment ago. He wouldn't have had any time to hurt her. What? Why? No idea. It's a mystery to me. Anyway, could you break up this crowd already? I'll be leaving for now, so excuse me. Have a good year. Woohoo! I wish he must have contacted someone as soon as he heard Satoko asking for help. The police had surrounded Satoko's house ahead of time? I get it. They were suspecting him of Rina's murder. It all makes sense now. Wait, who's Rina? Get in the car, everyone. Let's hurry back to Hinamizawa. Wait, who's Rina? Such a great question considering the last episode. There were several officers combing the Hojo residence. Satoko was sitting by the porch, talking with another officer. She had some painful-looking bruises all over her face. Satoko, are you okay? Are you? Do I look okay to you? Coach, she needs treatment right away. Let's take her to the clinic. Can you walk, Satoko? Satoko nodded to the coach and stood up. It looked painful for her, but even so I felt relieved to see her better than I expected. However, the cruel bruises inflicted over her body were all too horrible to look at. I'll never forgive that man for abusing a little girl like her. My body shivered in anger. Satoko. We've been having feels. We do be having feels, though. Satoko. Oh, did you see what I did, Rika? I can act when it counts. Yes, I saw your courage. You won. You broke the bonds of fate. Both Rika and Satoko cried and hugged each other. I soon heard another car coming. I immediately knew who it had to be. It was Mr. Oishi's police cruiser. We should have acted more quickly. I'm sorry we want more help. Don't be sorry. If not for you, Mr. Oishi, you would have done even more horrible things to her. Thank you. I guess you can be a nice person sometimes. So how was she doing? The coach is looking after her. She was injured pretty badly. Oh, Kuma. What happened to Teppei? We got him. Komiyama took him to the station. Hiccups. So he won't come back to this house ever again? It's not like he's going to get the death penalty or a life sentence. I don't want to think about this, but he might come back someday. Yeah, well, we won't let him in. I'll make sure he can never come back to this village. Oh my, oh my. Successor of the Sonozaki family is saying such scary things already. Can't threaten him or anything, you know? I'm not going to threaten him. I'm just going to advise him he should never come back to Hinamizawa or Okonomiya. Otherwise something terrible may happen to him. I guess advice isn't too bad then. Ah. So is Satoko free now? Is that really it? Is it over? I don't know. I think there will be more issues to come. Once Teppei loses his parental rights, they'll need to find a new guardian for Satoko. Someone has to take care of her. But there's no need to worry. I'm sure the Sonozaki family is going to back her up. We'll make sure Satoko is happy. Irie took Satoko to the clinic. He says the injuries aren't as bad as they look though. Really? That's good to hear. I wonder if she can leave the clinic by tomorrow, I wonder. I'm sure those injuries will take more than a day to heal. That's not what she's talking about, Mion. Tomorrow is the Watanagashi festival. It's been a really hectic week, but if we can all go to the festival together, I think that will be our happy ending. Right, it'll serve as proof we got our happy world back with our own hands. I agree. I'm sure Satoko wants to see Keiichi's auction in action. I almost forgot about that. Satoko will be coming for sure. Before I knew it, lots of people from the village had joined us. They were the same people who came to the CCC to support us. They wanted to know if Satoko was safe. Considering her injuries, safe might not be the right word. However, she is free from the curse of her uncle now. Her emotional scars will slowly heal. We'll be there for her, as her friends. No, it wasn't just us anymore. The whole village is going to be there for her. The ghost of the damn conflict won't hold Satoko any longer. It was a very long week. In this 1 week, united, we fought, we overcame, and we won. It wasn't an easy victory. However, the price we paid was more than worth it. Tomorrow is the Watanagashi festival, the biggest festival in the village. It's a huge event where we worship the guardian of this village, Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama is a god who united two enemy peoples. The curse on the Hojo family has disappeared, and Satoko is truly going to be a part of the village. We'll all be playing at the festival together. This is a perfect happy ending. When our ordinary days were taken from us, we all felt so powerless. But now that we have everything back, what else can you call that but a miracle? No, you can't actually call it that. Miracles can be created when everyone works together. What's impossible to do alone becomes possible when everyone joins forces. With everyone's power, we were able to make impossible things happen. And that's only a natural outcome of everyone doing their best together, so it's not a miracle. In other words, it was inevitable. The old legends in this village tell us that Oyashiro-sama made it possible for humans and demons to live together. I'm not sure what that story really means, but I'm sure that Oyashiro-sama made something impossible happen. We can be proud of what we did. I'm sure Oyashiro-sama is proud too. Hey, Maebara boy, we did it. You pulled it off. It was worth showing up every day. My supporters cheered me on. They were all glad that Satoko was finally safe. The sense of accomplishment at saving Satoko finally hit us, and we hugged each other, sharing praises for our struggle. The achievement for this is, can you really call that a miracle, which makes me do the scream emoji, you know? The more she got hurt, the more her heart became timid. The deeper her sadness became, the less she could enjoy happiness. The same time, the same world had repeated 1,000 times. The girl who'd forgotten how to smile locked her heart away and isolated herself. When she noticed the light coming into her gap, she raised her head. Did Pandora's hope ever really exist? Minagoroshi. With the courage taken back, the truth of the darkness can be revealed. The future she'd given up on was now right in front of her eyes. Satoko and Rika were already there waiting for me. While the injuries on her face, covered in band-aids, looked painful, Satoko seemed to be full of life. It almost looked as though her wounds were from playing too hard or something. What I'm going to do, BT dubs, is I'm going to keep going through to the end of this chapter, and then I'm going to leave the final chapter, the staff room, and the interview with Rikishi till next week. Leave us on a good cliffhanger, because I get the feeling we're getting a happy ending, but this is book 7 and there's one book left to go, and I've got the feeling it's not going to be a happy ending. It looked as though her wounds were from playing too hard or something. So you stayed here at the clinic last night? Yes, I told him I was fine, but the coach wanted to keep an eye on me. If that's what the doctor said, you should listen to him. I see. You were scared to stay at the clinic alone, weren't you? I heard there are lots of ghosts inside hospitals. Satoko can't sleep without me. Oh, why can't you sleep without her? Why? That's because Rika is the only one who can give her comfort. No sooner had Shion finished that sentence than a bucket went flying into her face. Satoko started chasing Shion in circles like they were playing tag. I really miss this rambunctious fun. I thought I'd never see this again. I felt the same. but we got it back. We did this. I think you did the most. It was your idea to go to the CCC, and you were the one who asked everyone for their support. I agree. I think Keiji contributed the most. Most people in Hinamizawa know who he is by now. How... is Keiji going to be a popular guy now? Is he? I bet he'll be incredibly popular. Popular amongst old ladies, that is. I really envy him. Be fine with that if I could divide their wages by 3. Many people were wearing yukata. It was still June, but it felt more like it was the middle of summer. Once we finished climbing the stairs, we could see the festival and the crowd enjoying it. The Furude shrine was packed with people, leaving the grounds looking nothing like the usual quiet self. Lanterns in various colours were hung about, and people were swarming the various festival booths, giving the whole place an unorganised yet pleasant atmosphere. What a crowd! I had no idea there were even this many people in Hinamizawa. Everyone comes to the festival. I think at least half the population of the village is here. There's more than just them. The neighbouring town councils and youth groups are invited too. I see. You only have a few students in our school. That explains why there are so many kids around today. Hearing the happy cheers of children is the best part of the festival. She's right. I'm in agreement there. There were lots of booths around too. They were by far the best part of the festival. Booths selling takoyaki, yakisoba, shaved ice, apricot candy, sauce senbei, chocolate bananas. There was a yo-yo game, a goldfish game, a shooting gallery. There were countless booths here. Those booth runners all came from the city. Can't call it a festival without festival booths. So we're going to have a battle in every one of them, huh? I'm not going to lose today. Yeah, same here. Hey, let's do it. That was a really creepy giggle, I'm sorry. Hello. Sorry I'm late. Am I the last one? Everyone's here now, huh? Once the club gets together, there's no way we can just sit back and enjoy the festival. Of course not. We're doing it again this year. This Watanagashu festival, with the 6 of us, will be the battle of the 6 evils. Satoko, there's no reason to hold back this year. Let's enjoy the festival with all our might. Oh ho ho, you don't even need to mention it. I too declare that I will be the victor. Yes, Satoko, you go girl. Let's put everything that happened before tonight behind us. Let's play with everything we've got. It's been a good week since we all got together. Yeah. Tonight we're all enjoying this festival to its fullest. As we ran around frolicking, a lot of people approached Satoko. Some were concerned for her injuries, some sympathised with how she'd been treated so far, and some even insisted she could rely on them if ever in need. And all of that must have been disconcerting and fresh for Satoko, who wasn't used to it. Satoko said that all the unusual kindness was making her feel uncomfortable instead, but I knew she was just being shy. Right now, this was just what it took for Satoko to truly feel the village had been reborn. My, hello. You all seem to be enjoying yourselves. Hi, Rika. I'm here like I promised. The festival sure has grown into a splendour. Who's this guy? You know him, Rika? Akasaka's never there when I need him. Huh? What are you talking about? Did I do something to make you upset? When you were at the hot springs with your wife, things sure got hectic around here. How? Rika's talking with some strange older guy. I wonder if she's someone she knows. I wonder. Who is he? Introduce him to this old man too. When Akasaka had arrived, I believed what it took to change fate was the power of an influential individual, or so I thought, but it turned out this was a misunderstanding. Individuals don't make miracles. Everyone must come forward to make them happen. That's why when I thought I could defeat fate, as long as I had Akasaka by my side, it was all in my head. Even if he had been there by my side, we probably wouldn't have been able to do anything and would have only disappointed ourselves. I'm not saying Akasaka was at fault, not the point at all. I may have considered him useless, perhaps. Even I'm rather astonished at my foul-mouthedness. Let's forget about such things tonight. It's been a couple of decades. Why not celebrate our reunion instead? Hey, Maibara boy, I heard what you did. I heard about it too. I heard you fought Mizoria with a sword until she finally gave in. Good on you. Just had a peaceful negotiation. Still, I'm pretty proud of you. You led everyone and actually negotiated with the centre. Hey, I'll give you some apricot candy. How many do you want? Wow, Keiichi, you're so popular today. I'm sure Keiichi's into old ladies too. I don't know what Rika's trying to say, and I don't even want to know. Keiichi got a lot of attention too, wherever he went. In order to save Satoko, he took the initiative, and hence his leadership abilities were now known throughout the village. Moreover, him persuading the village council and Oyo herself were now legendary tales of his heroism. Everyone understood just how much Satoko had been ostracised by the whole village, and they'd also understood how unreasonable it was for it to continue long after the dam wall was over. Seeing Keiichi's efforts to break through that debut so refreshingly was a glimpse of a new future ahead for the village and the heroic events of the old. With that said, now Keiichi Maebara had become a hot topic amongst the Hinamizawa people. Naturally, everyone wanted a glimpse of this Maebara Keiichi, and hence that bargain auction saw an unprecedented turnout. Even though he started off red-faced, once he got over his shyness, Keiichi showed his true colours. Enlisting rapturous cheers from the crowd with sheer energy and momentum, the Watanagashi of Showa 58 of that day became home to a special fervour never before seen. Now Keiichi has the morale of the villagers, and Keiichi will continue to steer the village into new adventures to come. Having such a young leader appear has made the village elders rather reassured. Oh, that's the guy who helped us yesterday. Thank you so very much for your assistance. Oh, I should have introduced him to you then. This is my uncle Saburo, who's in the prefectural assembly. This is my other uncle Ken, and he's in the city council. Sorry that we were late yesterday. We got lost on our way there. No, you both were a great help. I was really impressed to see the power of elected officials. Well, we're chosen to fight in place of the citizens. Of course we're strong. We're glad Satoko is safe. Talk to us again if there's anything you need. We'll be glad to help. They rubbed Satoko's head while they spoke. Thank you very much. Back in the main tent, having been the last to rush in, there were the many influential Sonozakis. They were all folk who became indebted to yesterday. Except Satoko, everyone bowed their heads. Until just a few days ago, everyone present was someone who could have been given bad mouth at the Hojo family if they sat down to drink. But Keiichi had broken it through it all. Having reflected upon their thoughtless insensitivities, I doubt any of these people would discriminate against her again. In fact, they bowed their heads, apologised for their actions, and promised their assistance if anything were to come up in the future. You must be proud of your son. Oh no, it's not really a big deal. Hey Keiichi, we're here too. Keiichi's parents are here. Good evening. Nice to meet you. I'm Keiichi's Meow Meow, Rika. Nice to meet you. My name is Satoko Hojo. So you're Satoko. Such a poor little girl. Look at her face. You can make use of Keiichi if anything happens again. In return, would you think about modelling for me? Your father reminds me a bit of the coach. Sorry, that's just the kind of person he is. Still, he seems very nice and fun to be around. Ah, two Satokos! Ah! Keiichi's parents were also at the festival. They were made quite a fuss over having such a magnificent son, being the parents of today's big hero. According to Keiichi, since his parents rarely left the house from being busy, this was a good chance for them to interact with the villagers. Keiichi's father had proudly volunteered to make posters for the town council if the need ever arose. I heard from Keiichi that posters his father makes are so good people steal them. I look forward to seeing what kind of posters they are. This is the best Watanagashi festival I've ever had. Yes, I feel the same way. You've been around a lot longer than me. If it's your best one, then it must be mine too. Oh, still, I think this is the most fun and exciting festival we've had since it became known as Watanagashi. Watanagashi festival only became like this a few years ago, didn't it? It used to be just a boring traditional ceremony that the Furude family held. And before that, it used to be something different, more like the things Takano is interested in. Oh, sorry, I'll try not to be mean to you today. Let's go have fun. The both of us. A special night for both me and you. I heard Hanyu whisper in disbelief that only recently there was a world where Shion tortured Toko to death. A horrific world, this happy ending world. It's all the same Hinamizawa. I'm sure the people who only know this world believe unwaveringly that Hinamizawa was destined to have a happy ending. Only Hanyu and I know. Only the bystanders know. That here in Hinamizawa, beyond a membrane so thin that it was even than a goldfish catching net, there were worlds that had bad ends. Which is why I'm certain that we understand better than anyone else just how much of a blessing this world is. If Keiichi and the others gave in to their temper without fighting side by side, this day would never have come. If Keiichi lost his temper, he would have committed a crime today. Same goes for Shion. She would be a criminal by today. In Reina's case, she would have been already 3 moves ahead and would have already finished the burial by now. Only Mion never blew her fuse. Not sure whether to call that prudent or cowardly. Uncalled for. Of course, there was actually a world in which I lost it. I ended up getting myself killed. How hopeless. Anyway, none of those worlds were any good. We weren't able to take back our happy world. So I'd given up help, but nobody else had. We all united to bring about a miracle that needed to happen. A miracle happened because everyone united. Might come across as self-aggrandizing, but I don't think there would have been a miracle if even just I'd given up and denied unity. During that last call, if I hadn't taken the phone away from Keiichi, I don't think Stoker would have sought our help. That's it. The miracle that couldn't have happened without everyone coming together. The miracle that wouldn't have been if even just one of us had given up. It's thanks to Keiichi who taught me how easy it is to break through fate. I, who had given up from the outset. If everything is fate and there's a meaning to Keiichi's existence, just what is it trying to tell me? I already knew the meaning of resisting fate and means to fight it. Never again will I give in to fate. Not once more. The mirror opposite of what Hanyu told me, to not hold expectations for anything. Even Hanyu must be able to cause some sort of miracle if she just believed without giving up. So I tried to tell her, but she's stubborn at the oddest times and obeyed me with a simple ow. Can you? Is it really okay to call this a miracle? Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. Even God doesn't know when he will descend once more. He is constantly prepared for that day to come. Have faith in your God at all times. Your God doesn't even know when he'll see the light. Do not spare any effort. Study hard every day. Have the passion for discovery. You never know when you will be rewarded, but that day will come for sure. Until then, you must not let the fires of your passion. You must let the fires of your passion burn bright. Ifumiti. Dun dun dun. But folks, I think although this stream is shorter than it usually is, this is a perfect point for us to close on this absolute cliffhanger. So I am going to say thank you very much for watching. It is very, very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. I will be streaming Nier Automata on Saturday, where I will be continuing on with the story. We're going off to investigate Pascal. Then on Sunday it will be Destiny 2, where we're going to be doing some more of the post Beyond Light quests, and also if we have time starting the seasonal quest, and hopefully I don't have an absolute nightmare streaming it and it doesn't eat half my VOD like it did before. Then on Tuesday it'll be Final Fantasy XIV, where I'm going to be unlocking and starting the Bolsha stuff. Oh god, live letters tomorrow, it's 3 AM. Can't decide if I want to wake up for live letter or just watch it in the morning. I'll probably wake up for it, to be honest. I miss the old one, so I'll wake up for this one. Anyway, so I'll know when the FF14 release date is, which for 5.4, which gives me a bit more time to sort out my schedule. Now that we know, they said early December, but it could, we don't know when exactly. With my luck, it'll be next week, and then I just won't do Bolsha at all, or I'll do like a Bolsha special before 4.5. Anyway, the point is that next Thursday we will be finishing Higurashi When They Cry, Minagoroshi. Hopefully this really is a miracle, but do I believe that in my heart of hearts? Absolutely not. Take care everybody, have a wonderful evening, do look after yourselves and be excellent to each other, and I shall see you guys on Saturday.